Alright. I think we should be streaming now.
Alright.
Maybe. Hopefully. I pressed the stream, so we should be streaming.
Excellent.
Yee boy. We'll see if we are, though. I'll check out live stream. If you can see this and hear us, say something in chat. I don't know who's in chat, but I have the chat up. Live stream YouTube. Live dashboard. Oh yes, it looks like it's working. Cool.
Alright.
Alright, we're up. So welcome guys. This is Umineko with Matt and John.
Hey there.
And yeah, that's Matt. And I'm John. So what we have here is we're about to start the huge chapter that's coming up, the next head in chapter 4 of Umineko, and things are about to get crazy from what it seems like, right? Chapter.
Yeah, I mean, things are already pretty crazy, so the fact that they're going to get more crazy is incredibly disconcerting.
Incredibly disconcerting.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get really crazy up in here.
Oh boy.
Posting to the chat, and here we go. So as we're starting out, we made some kind of a few revelations last chapter, right?
Yeah.
And that was a lot of it had to do with Canon and Shannon kind of being knowing things that they shouldn't, or that we don't think they should,
Or that we never knew that they were able to.
that we were able to know. Yeah.
It's kind of, I can't tell if it's fourth wall breaking or if it's just like because they're furniture, they have some means of holding on to their memories, you know?
Mm-hmm. And maybe furniture means something that's not necessarily fourth wall breaking, but it means that they're more involved than just pieces on a board.
Right.
But anyways, so somebody in the comments said, if you were comparing the Golden Land to a heaven type thing, hey Puppet Strings, welcome to the stream. If we're comparing the Golden Land to a heaven-like place, and what does it mean if Shannon's been there and she remembers it? And do we know like we definitely got proof that Shannon's been to the Golden Land because she says she remembers the Golden Land, and Canon obviously doesn't know what the Golden Land is. And we looked back and we know like Shannon's never made it to the end before, and she's never made it to the Golden Land either in any of the games we played. So what does this mean? Like, she's made it to the Golden Land, but how? And what does it mean? Like, what does it mean?
Yeah, just in general.
Do you have any other thoughts about that, or I don't know how much you thought about that.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I think it definitely, what you were saying earlier about them being more than just pieces, I think that's the thing that we kind of have to key into here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's something else going on. Obviously there's a lot we don't know about, but there's something else going on, especially with those two, that hopefully we'd either be able to deduce or will be revealed soon, because it's really bugging me.
That is a very, very good point. Well, since I guess we don't have... Do you have any other thoughts, like you wanted to say before we started this?
No, nothing in particular.
Alright, then let's get right into this. It's been a long time in the making, but we're ready to get going. Sorry if I'm a little out of it. because I'm under the weather. I've had a huge headache all day, but I'm feeling a little bit better now. Anyways, who read last time? Who started last time?
I have no idea.
Well,
do you feel okay to read?
yeah, I feel okay to read. I can start here.
Okay.
I can definitely start here. It goes without saying, but since the time she was born, Jessica was raised in this mansion. The Western-style house that the cousin simply called the mansion was her home, and yet she never had understood her cousin's feelings as much as she did today. And at the same time, her own home, which she knew so well, had never felt so different a place as it did now. Her own room. This had been once her own personal hideaway, the only place in this vast mansion where she could feel at peace. However, that door had never felt as intimidating as it did now.
テストだって。一体何が待ち受けてやがるんだ。まさか私の机とか引っかき回してねえだろうな。
She acted tough, trying to deceive herself, trying to make herself believe as if she wasn't scared of anything. She righted herself and opened the door to her room. And
Glass break. Oh.
Nothing's in here. Welcome, Emilio, to the live stream. Hope you're having a good day.
Did we welcome Enrico also?
Oh, yeah, sorry, Enrico. Welcome, Enrico. Thanks, Matt. You caught that.
I got you.
You got me. When she saw that, fortunately, the room didn't appear to have been messed with. She relaxed. No one was there. Of course. There was nowhere for anyone to hide there. Right away, Jessica locked the door behind her. Now the room was safe. Yeah, lock the door. The room is safe.
A locked room.
Oh my
the
gosh.
bane of the Ushiromiya family's existence, the locked room.
She peeked under the bed and in the closet, but of course no one was hiding. Yeah, that's funny on two accounts. One, she created a locked room, and two, locking doors is not safe. It's never safe.
なんだってんだ。
She looked at the clock, 10 past 11, or just a little past that. As her tension lessened and fatigue came back to her entire body, she realized how messed up this whole day had been.
And then she went on to welcome Lars 4th Street into the chat.
Welcome, Lars 4th Street. It was still only 11. The plan had been for all the cousins to get together, have fun playing around, and talk about all kinds of things together in the night. I'm not gonna try today. Normally, we would have been doing that kind of thing at this very moment. Why is that turned into this?
全部あのクソジジイのせいだ。よくも母さんをみんなを。
Her head was swimming with anger and sadness, but there was no one here to direct those emotions at. Because of the lock, this room's security was guaranteed. Remembering that one more time, Jessica somehow regained her calm. If it keeps up like this and nothing happens, and then suddenly butterflies started swarming around her. No.
Yeah, really.
Jessica thought that she would like to go to the dining hall and see her mother's last face. her face that's been impaled and blown apart.
Yeah, that's kind of a... Isn't that kind of a weird way to phrase that? Like...
Uh-huh.
Her last face.
Even though Goda had emphasized so strongly that it was gruesome and she definitely shouldn't look at it, even so, she wanted to see her mother's face one final time. But they had been warned repeatedly that doing anything stupid would put the hostages in danger. Could it be that locking the door was also against the rules? If I close myself up in here, I alone might be saved. But if I don't open it, it will surely be against the rules, and Dad, Ken-kun Shen, and Auntie Kyrie and Dr. Nanjo will be killed. There's no way the scales balance between 5 lives and my own 1 life. Jessica tightly shut her eyes, resisting the other part of herself, which said, "Isn't it alright as long as I survive?" Headed to the door and made to unlock it. Just then...
Well...
A crisp applause rang out, making Jessica's heart leap in before runaway. Yep.
ク
鍵をかけ
ク
たままならルール違反ということになり、人質たちにも危害が及ぶかもしれません。
Wow, it's like you can read Jessica's mind.
Yeah.
しかしそれでも自分の命だけは助かるかもしれない。
Jessica steps back, falls over on her backside, like, what the fuck? How'd you get here?
しかしあなたは
Who's
その
this
誘惑に
mustachioed
耐
man?
え自ら鍵を開けようとした。そのあなたの勇気は称賛に値しますよ。
I, the owner of this room, had searched to make sure there was nowhere any human could have been hiding. Where had this man? There was nowhere for a human to hide. But could something like that wasn't human have managed it? I was pretty sure this was my first meeting with this largely built middle-aged man. I did not recognize this guy who looked like a butler and bore the seal of the one-winged eagle.
はじめまして、ジェシカ様。私は親方様より家具頭を任されております。72柱の27位、ロの上と申します。
ロの上ケンジさん
Wait. What? Runaway? Genji-san? What?
ああ、源氏は私の弟のような存在。あるいはこの世界における私の正しい姿だったのかもしれません。より白だった
Whoa.
と言っても
Whoa.
良いでしょうな。
So everyone has a vessel or a true form in this world. Does that mean?
Furniture.
Does that
Furniture
go
might.
with our?
Furniture might.
Yeah. I was just thinking in terms of our theory about, you know,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Kiichi actually being
One of the people.
right.
So, like, everybody, yeah, might have a person in the witch world, per se.
That's like their other half, or like their.
Maybe?
Like, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Genji Runaway. That's his last name. Runaway. His surname. And then
Right.
Runaway. I was trying to figure out the significance why she said runaway when
Runaway.
he said runaway. But Runaway is Genji's last name. So,
Right.
yeah. Huh. Anyways.
Okay.
何を言ってんだ
おっと、これは失礼しました。人間には話しても理解できぬ話。それでは本題に移りましょう。
クソジジイの言うテストとかいうやつだな。
さようでござい。こちらが親方様がジェシカ様に賜れましたテスト。
At Runaway's elegant gesture, like that of a butler ordering for the last meal to be set out. I don't know why I said last, sorry. Many gold butterflies flew up out of nowhere.
It's the Last Supper.
Yeah, for Jessica.
Yeah.
And here's the butterflies. The swarm of golden butterflies spun around, forming a small swirl as they gathered in one place. If this is Kinzo... Oh.
Nope. Just an envelope.
Then that golden mound disappeared like a pile of leaves blown away by a cold, wintry wind, and there lay a western envelope with a one-winged eagle crest done on it in a golden leaf. This kind of reminds me of how, like, remember when they were all holed up in Kinzo's study, and this was the end of chapter 1, and it was the whole wolves and sheep's puzzle, where there was a letter that just appeared on the table.
Oh, right.
But it's like...
Yeah.
Obviously, letters can't appear out of nowhere. Someone must have put it there, but who and how?
And that's why they all started getting suspicious of each other.
Yes. Welcome, Matt Goldsmith. Greetings to you. To the chat.
Hey there.
But yeah, like, this letter that just popped up out of nowhere in front of Jessica obviously didn't just appear out of nowhere. But how did it get there? What are we seeing?
Yeah.
Runaway gestured to her to pick it up. Jessica timidly picked it up and opened the letter inside.
なんだ
非常にシンプルな次期当主の資格を探るテストでございます。そこに記されている問いにどうか後ろ宮家を担う次期当主としての心構えで臨んでいただき、
Oh no.
答えとそれに至ったお考えをお聞かせください。
What do you think the test is?
It could be anything, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
He could be asking her like some random like historical fact.
Who was the 5th Emperor of Japan?
Yeah, exactly.
Shaking, Jessica looked back and forth between the paper and Runaways' face several times. At that time, George, who had been called out after Jessica, could be seen in the arbor of the Rose Garden. He had been planning to give Shannon the ring that would be proof of their engagement here tonight at this time if things had gone normally. But the woman in front of George now was not Shannon.
But Gap.
読みなさい。
Oh shit,
それがゴールドスミスからあなたに与えられるテストよ。
they're getting it at the same time?
Apparently.
George picked up the Western envelope on the table where he had once drunk tea with Shannon and read its contents. Perhaps its message was short. Oh, after a single glance at it, George's eyes grew sharp.
なんだい
What is it?
これは。
見ての通りよ。それがあなたに与えられる次期当主の資格を探るテスト。次期当主としての資
They're
格を
definitely
自
gonna
ら
blue
に問い
balls
な
us
がら、
on whatever
そ
this
の問いに
is.
答えなさい。
Yep.
なんてバカな問題だ。
そうね。
What's the question?
本当にバカな問題ね。
Just
なら
tell us what it is,
ゴールドスミ
please.
スにとっての後ろ宮家の家督なんてその程度のものなんじゃない？
George lowered his eyes to the surface of the letter once again and examined its contents. George and Jessica. While the tests given to them were slightly different, they were almost exactly the same.
以
Oh!
下に掲げる3つのうち2つを得るために1つを生贄に捧げよう。
簡単な3択じゃない？どれを見殺しに選ぶか自ら決めなさい。
Can we go back to that?
選択を
Yep, 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 yep.
テストは中断。
Among the 3 mentioned below, in order to gain 2, sacrifice 1.
Oh, is he asking them to choose like the next sacrifices, basically?
I don't know. I think we'll figure, or it says the 3 mentioned below, so they might get to that.
Okay.
But I mean, are the sacrifices your guess about it?
Yeah, I guess so. Unless it's just a general kind of riddle thing.
Watch it be Maria's Rose, Sakatardo, and I don't know, something
Rosa?
else.
I don't
Rose.
私の手であなたをこの場で殺してしまってもいいって許可をもらってるわ。それさえも選択肢に含めるなら4択ね。私君みたいなこと遊ぶのはずいぶん久しぶりだからそれも嫌いじゃない。
Whoa.
Now that doesn't have implications.
That's
この3択は
that's a lot to
Akuma
take in.
test
I'm
them.
gonna need a minute.
それとも選択は結果を伴うのか。
何を甘えてるの？君が選択したものは必ず命を落とす。
Well, shit.
Oh, well, looks like I was right.
Among the 3 mentioned below, in order to gain 2, sacrifice 1. 1. Your life. 2. Shannon's life. 3. Everyone else's lives.
Ooh. So he can kill everyone else except him and Shannon. He can kill
Yes.
himself, or he can kill Shannon.
Yes.
Option 3.
What? But then what if Jessica picks option 3?
Oh, that's true. Then it's war.
That everybody
And it's-
just dies.
Civil war on the island.
Without sacrifice of the friends we made along the way. Nice.
I don't think anyone's made any friends in this VN.
Yeah, neither have I. Neither do I. Uh, let's see.
But we've made you guys, the viewers, our
Aw.
friends. I like to think.
Isn't that sweet? That's the nicest thing that's come out of this playthrough.
Yeah, I think so.
So, without love, the truth cannot be seen. If you do not choose one, all the above will be lost. Sacrifice the viewers.
シャノンの名がここにあるんだ。
That's
2番目
terrible.
の選択肢にはそのものが最も必要とする愛する者の名がジェシカへのテストの2番にはカノンって書かれているはずだわ。
Well, fuck.
このバカな問題をジェシカにも出したのかい。
ジェシカのことなんかどうでもいいでしょ。今試されているのはあなた。実に簡単な3択だわ。他の2つのためにどれを捨てられるかということよ。簡単でしょ。それでも決まらないならコインでも貸してあげようかしら。
コイン
What do you think George is gonna pick?
I was pondering that. I think ultimately in the end George would pick himself.
Is that what you think Jessica would pick too?
I'm really not sure about Jessica.
Because
to be honest.
Jessica did just try step forward to unlock the door because she was afraid everybody else would die, and she's like, everybody
Right.
else versus me. So I think Jessica would definitely pick herself too. I think Mario would not pick herself.
Yeah. I think
二面し
Mario
かない
would
もので
probably pick,
どうやって3択を
yeah, probably B or C.
Yeah, Rosa. Rosa's already dead
Yeah,
though, right?
honestly.
Killer choice. Oh no, wait, is Rosa dead?
No, isn't she? Oh. Actually, I don't remember.
No, she's Kyrie. Who are the
Rudolph, Cannon, and Shannon are in the... Is
It's-
Rosa with them in the dungeon?
No, it's Kyrie Kraus.
Yeah.
Shannon
Kraus.
Cannon. And is Rosa the last one?
No, Rosa had that whole thing with Maria and Sakataro,
Yeah,
but I don't know where she is now.
that's true. I don't think we ever... There's gotta be a fifth person with them, right? What the heck? Did we
Not sure.
ever see Rosa with them? Oh, Rosa died in the first Twilight. Rosa dead. She died. She dead. Yes. That's why. We're stupid.
Gotcha.
Sorry. My brain is not up to par today. Thanks
Yeah,
for the
apparently
reminder.
mine isn't either.
Okay.
自分の命を捨てられる者がいるわけがない。
She deed.
となればおのずと残る選択肢は2つになる。愛する者のために全ての人間を諦めるか。
And by the way, chat, the chat is about probably 30 seconds behind, so if you type something, we won't see it for 30 seconds. Or rather, the stream's 30 seconds ahead. Anyways.
一人でも多くを救うために愛する者一人を諦めるか。どっちにももっともらしい大義名分がつけられるわ。だって今やこの六軒地人間の世界の甘ったるい馴れ合いなんて必要ないの。誰も責めないわ。あなたの心の赴くままに後ろ宮家の家督を継ぐにふさわしい資格が自らにあるかを問いながら、いいえ、自らが後ろ宮家当主であると思って選択なさい。
Wow. That's a lot.
What's gonna happen?
I would assume that Shannon's... Just Shannon is replaced by Cannon in Jessica's version of the question.
Yes.
But what about Battler?
How
How are they going to do that?
that is a very good question. Huh.
They better show us.
Jessica crumpled up the letter and threw it on the floor. Plunging, slimy, squishy wet.
私も
So
非
gross.
常にお気の毒で、それでいて実に滑稽な出題だと思います。
自分から死にたいと願う人間なんているもんか。そして愛する人の命を見捨てて生き残りたいと思う人間なんているもんか。
But would the person you love want to be remain alive after
Everyone else has been killed.
everybody else has been killed, and also after you've been killed?
Right, yeah.
I can imagine Canon wouldn't want her to sacrifice everybody else, but he also wouldn't want her to sacrifice herself. Canon would say sacrifice me.
Yeah. He definitely would.
そして自分たちだけ良ければ他の人間すべてを見殺しにできる人間なんているもんか。
If only they could do a Hunger Games ending
Yeah.
where they
Have them all duke it out.
well, I was gonna say where they risk both of their lives and say it's
Oh,
both
I
of us, both of us alive or well, actually that would be C. They could choose C. I'm stupid. What am I saying? I'm stupid.
I don't know, man. Alright.
ジェシカ様。
Somebody joined the chat right when I said plunging slimy squishy wet.
いても良いのでございます。ここは六軒島、悪魔の島。今や人間の世界から完全に切り取られ、魔界にどっぷりチーズフォンデュのように沈んでおります。
Cheese fondue?
人の世の価値観など次の燃えないゴミの日に出してしまいますとですからどうかジェシカ様が心より欲するものを順にお選びください。その結果残ったものがこの狂った今宵にふさわしきジェシカ様の回答となりましょう。
ふざけるな。
Oh.
こんなのどれも選べるものかよ。
いずれも選ばねば上記のすべてを失うも立派な第四の選択肢でございます。それを選ばれるのもまた一興でございましょう。ただそれを選び結局自らの命を落とされるなら潔く一番の自分の命を選び他の二つを救われた全てはジェシカ様の選択に委ねられます。どうぞ後ろ宮家の跡継ぎにふさわしい回答とその信念をお聞かせくださいませ。この炉の上親方様の血を引きし末裔にふさわしき素晴らしい回答を心より期待いたしております。
That scene was being observed through a magic crystal ball being held by Kinzo. Kinzo finally couldn't hold it back. Spreading his arms and facing the heavens, he began laughing in an explosive voice.
何を迷うか愚かなる孫たちよ我が末裔たちよ
You have already failed by hesitating.
即答できる簡単な問題ではないか。朝のトーストにバターを塗るかジャムを塗るかより迷わぬ選択であるというのにお前たちには正しい答えがわかるか。
He turned and stared wide-eyed at the Chiesa sisters, who had been faithfully standing in wait behind him.
いえ申し訳ございません。私にはわかりません。ゴールドスミス卿。
愚か者め選べもせぬとはな。ゲームオーバー自らの生きる理由も目的も見出せん愚かなウサギめ。
She's just a rabbit. Calm down.
She's just a little bunny girl. Don't yell at her.
貴様など 誰にも気づかれずに踏み潰されて生を終えるアリ一匹ほどの価値もないわ。
The hell did she do to you? Who pissed in your Cheerios?
Bro.
死ね、潰れろ。私が瞬きしている間に消えてなくなれ。お前はどうか。
What a dickhead.
私は一番の自分の命を生贄とするであります。
And before, wrong!
武具は戦い、知ってこそであります。そして武具は敵を撃ち滅ぼし、味方を守るためにある。愛する者たちを守って死ねるなら本望であります。
ほう、運らしい実に見事な模範解答よ。即答、大いに結構。そう答えれば人参が一本余計にもらえると教えられてきたのか。違うよな。
違うよ。
それすらも違うよな。
違うよな。
そう聞かれたらそう答えようと、お前はただ吹き込まれた通りに答えたに過ぎない。お前も今のウサギと同じだ。自分の生きる理由と目的を未だに見出せずに生きている。生きる価値なきクズめ。貴様など潰されて他の家畜の餌にでもなるのがお似合いよ。
What the fuck?
Ooh.
家畜の餌、光栄であります。
違うだろう。もう誰も死ぬところを見たくないんだろう。それがなぜ認められぬのか。認めろよ。お前の古傷の奥の奥が未だに産んで腐っていること。
Is he talking to her or is he talking to somebody else with that line? It sounds like he's talking to...
I thought he was talking about himself there, honestly.
himself?
That's how I interpreted it.
His own wounds are festering, rotting deep inside. I was thinking maybe Battler.
Oh.
But it could be him.
不臭にて鼻が曲がりそうであるわ。愚かなる腐れウサギめ。お前にはこれが褒め言葉である。
ありがとうございます。であります。
さて、最後のお前はどうか。この3択から何を選ぶ？
にひ迷うことなく当然2番。
おお、2番か。愛する者を生贄に捧げることを胸を張って選べる者は多くない。訳を聞かせよ。
愛する者はいつかいなくなるからです。愛する者がいなければ傷つかないし、いなくてもいつかまた誰かを愛せるかもしれない。だから今愛してる者なんて大した価値はないのですに。
Kinzo's not gonna like that answer at all.
No, I was thinking the same thing.
Kinzo's only gonna like it, the third answer.
Yeah.
なるほど。それでそういう回答になるわけか。愛に傷ついたがゆえに臆病になったウサギよ。ウサギは寂しさで死ぬと聞いたが、お前の心は一体いつ殺されたというのか。ならばウサギよ、問いを変えよう。2番の選択肢を愛するものではなく、そなたが愛したものの思い出に変えようではないか。
That's even better. I won't have any guilt then.
どうか、これでももう一度選べるか。何が愛してるものに大した価値はないだ。愚かなウサギよ。自らの愛の深さにも向かい合えぬクズめ。選んでみよ。愛したものを忘れられると選んでみや。選べるだろう。選べるものな。ほら選べるって言ってみろよ。
This is the best fucking voice actor I've ever heard in my life.
選べる
It
であります
is.
選べるでありますゴールドスミス卿それくらいでどうかお許しを
Trying not to cry. Lay down in a ball, cry a lot.
Cry a lot.
もうよいわクズウサギどもめ、お前たちはワルギリアのところへ行き地下牢の見張りを手伝うのだ。消えよ。
The Chiester sisters, their old emotional wounds gouged, disappeared as they're running away. Are the Chiester sisters... Now that you're saying about people in the witch world being pieces on the board, and like how Ronove said, you can think of me as Genji in my past life. And we saw like Vergilia was Kumasawa.
I was thinking the same thing. I was racking my brain trying to remember other people. I remembered Vergilia as Kumasawa. And that was it. So I think it's only been 2 so far.
But like their old emotional wounds gouged sounds like why should we care about their emotional wounds unless they are representing pieces on the board?
Members of the Ushiromiya family.
Yes. Maybe. That's what I'm...
Like... So you think the rabbits are... There's a possibility that they represent one of the family members in the real world?
Maybe. But I'm not sure. I mean, we could be overthinking it, but...
Yeah.
But I was thinking a little bit more about what you were saying about everybody in the witch world, like everybody on the game pieces in the Ushiromiya family having like a representative in the witch world, and I had remembered the Kumasawa Vergilia thing, and that's what got me thinking of this.
Yeah.
But anyways, after that, even though there was no one left to hear him, Kinzo continued talking as though continuing a play. Oh, somebody in the chat said, wait, what about that bunny thrown against the wall by Rosa earlier? What if the Chiesters are those ceramic things?
Ooh.
The chess piece... Were those ceramic glass chess pieces? Or...
No. It was something that... Was it Rosa got for Maria?
Yes.
The little plastic, or the little ceramic...
Animals.
Yeah, what was that? I
It
forget
was-
what the context of that was.
Was that like the rabbit band or whatever?
The what?
It was like... Rosa got her like a little set of like ceramic bunnies in a set.
Yeah. What was she like, was it her birthday, or was it like she was coming back from a trip? I'm just trying to place it in like the...
I think she was coming back from a trip and gave her those as a present.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
とこのように愉快なテストなわけだ。実のところを言えばこれが正解という選択肢はない。むしろどの答えであろうともよどみなく素早く、そして確固たる信念と揺るがぬ強き自らの意志で選べるかどうか、その理由と意志の方が重要なのだ。私はそれを知りたいのだよ。ああ、我が末裔たちよ。お前たちはどのような答えを見せてくれるのか実に楽しみだ。私ああ、もちろん同じ問いを突きつけられたことがあったとも。
Oh shit.
Really?
その悪魔の問いに見事答えたからこそ私は黄金と名誉と
Oh shit.
あの魔女を我が物とすることができたのだよ。
So Kinzo's asking the question that apparently he was asked that got him the position of headship.
Well, it would make sense. I mean, if if C is the answer, then the two who are surviving versus everyone else would be Kinzo and Beatrice, right?
Yep.
So does that mean that Kinzo had the rest of his family killed?
I think it was an earthquake or a natural disaster. I don't think, or
is that just the story?
But see, that was before he even wanted to get involved with the Ushirame family. Everybody else had died, and then everybody else had died, and then he was the only one left. So the responsibility was thrust upon him.
Oh, okay.
At least that's what I remember.
私が選んだ答えはどれか言うまでもないよな。
Beautiful.
Welcome Shadow Tonberry to the chat. Shadow T-O-N Tonberry, Shadow Tonberry maybe.
Welcome.
And Emilio, yes, you can solve the mystery of Umineko with the first 4 chapters, which is what we're going to try to do. We're
probably not going to succeed, but
we'll try. We're
try.
gonna spend some time after this, after episode 4, going back and examining stuff from earlier chapters and picking out important scenes, and we're gonna do a whole theory video and examining stuff. And apparently you can if you know what to look for. So I have a feeling we might stand a decent chance of it, but we'll see.
I think we've picked up on a lot of stuff.
I agree.
And I think at the end of this episode we'll be able to narrow it down and kind of stick to one thing.
Agreed. As Jessica stared at the crushed letter which lay on the floor, she's gonna pick A. She hung her head in constant silence. The whole lock on the door is foreshadowing. If she doesn't pick A, then I will stop the stream and run outside naked.
Alright.
All that filled the room was the sound of wind and rain and the rustling of treetops. Regardless of how noisy that was, it simply made the silence more apparent. Renove waited for Jessica's answer. However, Jessica didn't speak. Whether she was deep in thought or had stopped thinking, Renove couldn't tell. No, he might have actually known. But cruelly, like a demon, Renove urged Jessica to voice it.
どれも選べないというなら、そのお命、せめて痛みがないよう。
Yeah, Emilio, we are going to take time to try to solve it after episode 4, and we'll do that before we start episode 5. Kill me! Yep. I think that's what she's saying.
はい、聞こえかねました。もう一度お願いできますかな?
Jessica lifted her face and looked straight into Renove's eyes. It seemed that she had decided on her answer.
殺せよ.
Jessica said it one more time, clearly. Perhaps Renove had imagined from the very beginning that this would be the answer. Without any surprise, he smiled lightly and nodded.
ジェシカ様ならそのお答えを選ぶと思っておりました。さて、このテストはどの選択肢が正解、不正解というものではありません。重要なのはどのような考えを経てその答えに至ったかという。さあ、ジェシカ様の、そして次期当主としての心構えを持ってそれをお答えください。
別に死にたくて1番目を選んだわけじゃないさ。2番のカノン君を死なせること、こんなのもちろん論外だから除外。3番のその他みんなの命、こんなのももちろん論外だから除外。そしたら1番目の選択肢しか残らなかった。
消去法ですか。積極的にお選びになったわけではない と。
That doesn't bode well for her.
Nope.
After chuckling slightly, Runaway dropped his gaze. A human couldn't even imagine what kind of answer a demon would have been hoping for. All she could understand was that this apparently slightly below Runaway's expectations.
悪くはありませんが、良くもない回答です。60点というところでしょうか。
What, you're giving it a grade?
Apparently.
少し失望しましたよ。
自信を持って選べみたいなこと言っておいて、そうしてやったら失望とは自分勝手な野郎だぜ。
消去法というだけではないようですね。いずれにせよ落第点ですが、もう少しお考えがあるようだ。
Yes, Joker Ono, welcome to the stream. It's nice to see you here. For those of you who don't know, he did a stream, or not a stream, a Umineko Let's Play before us, and a lot of people, when they finished his, they said they started watching ours, and I saw some of their Let's Play, and it was pretty good. So I'm glad to see somebody that's quite awesome in our chat. Anyways, I am all over the place right now. Sorry.
You're good, man.
伺い
Let's
ま
keep
しょう
rolling.
死にたくないさ。だから一番なんて誰だって選びたくない。人は幸せに生きたくて生の限りをあがいてるんだぜ。だから本当はまず一番目なんてありえないはずなんだ。
しかしあなたは一番目の選択肢、自分の命を捨てることを選んだ。その選択肢しか残らなかった。
一応それぞれの選択肢を選んだ後の未来のことを考えてみたぜ。
And this is actually, I mean, it's obviously a pretty deep question to begin with, but like, could you live after killing the person that you loved? Could you live after killing everybody else? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, is that kind of existence with that guilt worth it? It's the question.
Mm-hmm.
いかがでしたか？
For Kinzo it is.
Yeah.
まずカノン君を死なせてみた。
I mean, that's actually what he's doing now too, if you think about it. He's killing everybody to revive Beatrice.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So maybe not in the past, but right now, that's
Mm-hmm.
what he's
私
doing.
は自分の大好きな人を見捨ててまで生きる残りの生涯を想像してみた。
それはどんな生涯でしたか？
生きるにも値しない最低の女だった。いつまでも自らの選択を悔やみ、ただ後悔だけのために生きる大好きな人を見捨てて生きることを選んだ最低の女なんて私には許せない。私が自ら引導を渡してやる。
勇ましい。では3番目の選択肢も考えられたのでは？
ああ、私とカノン君以外の全員を死なせても見た。カノン君はそんな私を好きになるはずはない。そして私もまたいくらカノン君がいてもそのために見捨てた大勢の命が生涯十字架となってのしかかってきた。そしてその十字架はカノン君にまでのしかかった。私はカノン君に十字架を背負わせるために愚かな選択肢を選んだりはしない。もしそんなことをする私がいたなら、私はその未来の私を許さない。
She does
そ
have
の女にも
strong
私が
morals,
引導を
you
渡して
know.
やる。
Mm-hmm.
And she took the time to be thoughtful and think about, you know, what would be the aftershocks of the choices she made. I think Kinzo might appreciate that, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah. Jessica had pictured it in her mind, the future her beyond each of the three choices. There were 3 Jessicas. Of the 3, 2 had regrets. Only one could hold her head high and smile at Cannon.
私さ、生意気にもカノン君に説教したことがあるぜ。自分の人生を思い切り生きてみろみたいなこと。
Okay, do you... I just remembered something from way back. Can you tell me if I'm insane and just imagining this, or if this is actually something that happened? Because I think I remember Beitarichi... We've had flashbacks with Beitarichi talking with Shannon and Cannon in, like, the garden and stuff, right? And she gave them things so that their love could come true.
Like the mirror?
It wasn't just the mirror. Didn't she give them something?
Oh, she gave her... excuse me. An amulet or something?
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I remember that too, but I don't remember exactly what it was. Was it a ring or a piece of jewelry of some sort?
And I think she gave Cannon one too eventually. A butterfly brooch. It was the butterfly brooch.
Right, it was it was a brooch.
That's really vague, but it for some reason just reading this whole thing gave me flashbacks to that. And now I really, after this, after we finish this chapter, I might go back and check over that. But
yeah,
I feel like that's important.
自分の人生を思い切り生きる。味わいある言葉ですね。それは意外にとても難しいものです。
だからさ、私が胸を張ってカノン君に見せなきゃならないんだよ。胸を張ってお天道様を真正面から見て思い切り笑顔でいられる生き方。
あなたの自己犠牲をカノンは受け入れられるでしょうか。あなたの身勝手な選択が余計に彼を傷つけてしまうことには思いが。
だから伝言を頼みたい。
ほう、お聞きはしますが、何しろ私は悪魔です。約束は守らないかもしれませんよ。
守って、約束。
Jessica spoke that, looking quite unconcerned. She had asked the demon who was about to take her life to pass on a message, and she wasn't thinking for a moment that she would be betrayed. At that extremely innocent smile, Runaway closed his eyes lightly and shrugged his shoulders.
いいでしょう。それで彼に何と伝えればよろしいですか。
カノン君の思いっきりの人生を。
Oh shit.
Oh no.
ちょっと違う。カノン君のじゃない。本当の名前は未だに教えてもらえないけど、本当のカノン君の人生をそう伝えて。お嬢様。
ジェシカ、お前というやつは。
炉の上は気まぐれですから、伝言をしなかった可能性もありました。幸運でしたね。私がこの光景を見せていて。
What?
So she's already gone.
A musty three-sided mirror was set beyond the bars, and the scene with Jessica was reflected on it. They're seeing everything that's happening.
Jeez.
On the next mirror, the scene with George was reflected in the same way. None of them questioned how a three-sided mirror had appeared from a group of butterflies, or why Jessica and George were reflected on it. Because the reflected sights themselves were more important.
そこまで。こいつのために命をも投げ出せるという
の。申し訳ありません。
Faraz looked at Cannon with a complicated expression that had an awkward smile mixed in. It doesn't look like a smile at all.
No.
Cannon couldn't beat his eyes.
ワルギリア様。 お嬢様が命を落とされることはありません。僕を殺してください。2番目の選択肢に変えてください。それで全ては丸く収まるはずです。
その願いを私に叶えることはできませんよ。
Welcome Super Paper and Just Rio to the chat.
これはジェシカの選んだ自らの選択なのですから。
Suddenly they were split and the Chester sisters appeared, flying into Vergilia's chest.
私だって頑張ってるのであります。潰して家畜の餌とかあんまりであります。
Still without a clue what was going on, Vergilia was smothered by the sobbing Chester sisters.
はいはい、大丈夫ですよ、大丈夫ですよ。泣かないで泣かないで。美味しいお紅茶を入れてあげますからね。お前たち、ここの見張りを任せます。不審な真似をしたらすぐに知らせるのですよ。
The goat attendants all looked at each other and nodded their heads. Vergilia took the Chester sisters and left. The sound of people going up a set of stairs could be heard, so they probably had gone to an upper floor. Oh shit.
チャンスだわ。このヤギ頭どもは頭が悪いんだ。うまく騙せないかしら。
Kira realized that an opportunity had arrived, but she still hadn't thought of a way to break the metal bars. The Jessica reflected on the three-sided mirror, closed her eyes as though she had given up. The way she had both hands stuck into her pockets, wanting to be defiant until the very end, might have been her own kind of aesthetics.
私の言い分は以上だ。
Girl, that is so your aesthetic.
わかりました。それでは。
Wait. Aren't the people locked up in the cell the sacrifices? He's not actually gonna kill her, right?
I don't know, man.
ご安心を。
This might initiate the next Twilight.
どんな眠りよりも優しく、慈悲。
Ronove raised his palm and as he slowly approached Jessica. What about the two that are close? Just. Realizing that his own daughter would be killed, Kraus repeatedly body slammed into the metal bars, going half-mad. Poor guy.
Yeah.
The goats looked like they were sneering at how a mere human didn't stand a chance at breaking those bars. And true, Kraus's pointless effort might have been comical, but Kraus was giving it everything he had. As Jessica's father, he was living in that moment with everything he had so that he could save her. Cannon made tight fists with both hands. If he used his curse power, he might be able to cut through even metal bars. But there were a full 3 goats. There was no way he could defeat 3 of them in an instant. It would be instantly reported, and then Vergilia and even the Chester sisters would dash in. Though he may be able to break the bars, he could do nothing more. It was useless. Zenzen Damida.
Exactly. No goddamn good at all.
Cannon knew already that the witch was sneering at that kind of useless effort. So he could do nothing but stare at Kraus's repeated body slams. Oh no. Shannon, who had been looking at the three-sided mirror, let out a voice. They looked to see that George, who had been silent this whole time, had raised his head. It seemed that George had also decided on an answer. What do you think?
I really don't know, man. I want to say that he'll choose himself, but Jessica already chose herself. I mean, it doesn't mean that he can't, but I really don't know. What do you think?
I think he'll choose himself. I mean, I think it's setting us up to expect something else, but
yeah,
I think ultimately it won't.
決まったよ。
それは揺るぎない答え。
ああ、揺るぎないね。
なら聞かせてもらうわ。ああ、ちなみにジェシカはどうも自分の命を差し出すことを選んだようよ。まさか優柔不断な君も。
ジェシカはジェシカの答えを出したのさ。
Oh.
それがどの選択であろうとも、それはジェシカの答えだ。僕の答えに何も干渉しないよ。
そう。なら改めて聞くわ。以下に掲げる3つのうち2つを得るために、1、自分の命。2、シャノンの命。3、それ以外の全員の命。あなたが選んだのはどれ？まさかジェシカと同じ1番？
Oh, now I don't think it will be.
違うね。
Oh!
No,
He's gonna choose option 4.
just him and Shannon.
He's gonna choose option 4. Everybody. No,
Yeah,
it'll be
really.
3. If he chooses Shannon, this will be the biggest betrayal I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, think about it. Do you think his love for Shannon outweighs his love for everyone else?
Yes, I do.
So, it kind of makes sense.
Unless he comes up with some convoluted reason that because he loves her so much, that's why he has to kill her. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Gap looked a little surprised.
Gap!
Because she had thought that a timid-looking man like this would never choose any other option.
ならよかったわ。私にとって一番退屈な選択肢が外れてくれてよかった。じゃあまさかとは思うけど、2番シャノンの命を見捨ててみせる？
まさか今夜まさに婚約指輪を贈ろうという相手を
Oh,
ど
damn.
うして僕が。
So it is the third one
これ
after
は
all.
大胆だわ。
Definitely see.
The person I choose, Gap, is you. Now die!
それが君の答えなの？
そうさ、僕の答えは3番さ。
Oh.
Interesting.
George had chosen the third choice. Everyone else's lives. Even Gap hadn't been able to imagine that answer. She had been sure that he'd choose number 1 just like Jessica, so she became interested in how he had reached that answer. How had he reached an answer that had defied the imagination of the 33rd ranked demon of the 72?
聞かせてほしいわ。自分と愛する婚約者だけが無事で、それ以外の全てを犠牲にできる境地というのをあなたもジェシカと同じで。
違うね。はっきりこれしか僕には選択肢がないのさ。
自分さえ良ければいいと？愛する女と引き換えに世界を犠牲にできると？
君は何を言っているんだい？
何？
George faced the demon as he spoke, looking at her in almost disbelief.
僕は今夜ここにシャノンを呼び出し、婚約の証である指輪を渡すつもりだった。僕とシャノンの婚約を祝福しない者もきっと多いだろう。
Aha.
So he's
僕は
getting rid
彼
of
女と
them.
の婚約を宣言することで親族すべてを敵に回すと僕にはあるんだよ。この島に訪れたその時から。いや違う、彼女に婚約したいと打ち明けたその時からね。
結婚さえできれば他の何もかも犠牲にできると？
結婚とは自分は生涯妻の味方であり続けるということだ。僕に
They
は
can
その
also
時点で
restart the family, you know?
Uh-huh.
Just the two of them.
Uh-huh.
彼女のために世界のすべてを敵に回す覚悟があるんだ。
Those words through the three-sided mirror also reached Shannon's ears, and his determination reached her eyes. Shannon certainly had arranged with George that night. She would have been given an engagement ring. Then this incident had occurred, and she hadn't been able to receive the ring. But now, even though it wasn't in the form of the ring, Shannon had received something even greater. As proof as that, a single tear with the same sparkle as a diamond dripped down.
そ それは何ともふるった答えだことね。なるほど。よく考えたら君にこれは気楽な選択肢だわ。だって君の両親は第一の晩にすでに殺されちゃってるんだもんね。
So who cares about everybody else?
今さら君にとって死んで困る人間は誰もいない。
What about Battler
Not
and
even
Jetsuka?
Battler? Come on, man.
なるほどね。これは簡単な選択だったわ。
何とでも言うがいい。これが僕の、そして僕の次期当主としての覚悟と。
The sparkle in George's eyes was brilliant and sharp. For just an instant, Gap felt the same sense of intimidation that Kinzo exuded and was slightly overpowered.
なるほど。ゴールドスミスと同じ答え。君もあどけなさそうな顔して、将来はとんだ悪魔になるわけね。なんだ、私たちとてもうまくやれそうじゃない。君がゴールドスミスの後を継ぐ。そしてやがては私は召喚され、君に仕えることもあるかもしれない。それも案外面白いかもしれないわ。
Gap needed to change her opinion of George. This man bore a determination and resolve unimaginable from his outward appearance, and had not adopted that just now, but had possessed it since the very beginning.
僕には今すぐ当主を継承する覚悟がある。いや違うね。君はこのテストを当主として考えろと言った。
Meanwhile, Krause is quaking in his boots.
だから僕は自分が当主であると前提して答えたんだ。いや、それすら違う。当主そのものとして考えた。僕は今後ろ宮家の当主なんだ。
So what about Battler?
Beatrice!
見事だわ。そこまで言えるなんてね。君はどうやらかなりの大物だわ。バトラとマリアのテストはまだだけど、私は君が合格でいい気がする。でもその答えがかけねなしの本当のものならね。
僕の覚悟を疑うというのか。
君が選んだ選択肢を実行できる？今すぐ自らの手でこの島に存在する全ての命を生贄に捧げることができる？自らの手でよ。
できるね。その覚悟はあると
that
僕は
face.
何度も言っている。
Yeah, that's not very convincing.
ならば今すぐゲストハウスに戻り、バトラとマリアを殺しなさい。それが終わったら他の人質たちも連れてきてあげる。君の手でシャノン以外の全員をその目の前で処刑してみせるのよ。できるんでしょ？
できるね。
Oh!
僕の覚悟は君程度のそれとはレベルが違う。
I don't think Shannon would. I don't think she would be able to ever see him in the same way again if she had to witness him murdering his family just for her.
I don't know.
なら
It's
ば
a pretty
実行しな
traumatic
さい。
thing.
すべてに死を。新しき後ろ宮家の当主としてこの血塗られた儀式の遂行を。
了解したよ。
Oh shit.
実行する。僕は今やもう後ろ宮家の当主だ。
What's... I wonder what angle he's playing at, because he's definitely acting, right?
I don't know. I think he's legit now.
ええ、
Ugh,
そうよ。
guess we'll
This is
see.
this is the happiness of Marionette. So I think this is legit.
自らの手でその玉座を赤く染めなさい。君は悪魔たちを滑る魔界の王となる。
Gap was now sure. This man was truly fitting to succeed Kinzo's madness.
吹けよ嵐、鳴らせよ雷鳴。新しき魔王の誕生を祝うがいい。悪魔の島は今新し
In response to the demon's call, the tempest raged more and more. Then, a massive lightning bolt fell. Its tearing thunder and brilliant light creating the feeling of just a moment of silence.
Deさ、その殺害の順番だけど、
Yes?
僕が決めていいわけだよね。
Oh? Where do you think he's going with this?
I'm not sure.
どうぞご自由に。新しき六軒島の魔王陛下、あなたの御心の赴くままに。
I was just joking, but...
とりあえずさ、その一番目が
Oh!
君になるわけだけど、いいかな。
I was just joking when I said he'd choose her as an option, but...
That's pretty fantastic.
Are we gonna see George go... Does George have the super ninja sword? Is he gonna pull out... We'll see.
I don't know.
A gust of wind blew, stirring up George's jacket as though it was a cloak. It was very much like the cloak worn by the head. It definitely gave the same impression of grandeur.
Snake.
At that time, Gaps certainly saw the storm wiped away and the sky covered with a pure white and vast full moon. Bearing the full moon on his back, the man who called himself the new head sneered at the demon.
後ろ宮家親族の全ての命さえも今や僕の財産だ。それに損害を出してくれた賠償、安くは済まないよ。まさか僕の両親に夏日おばさん、ルドルフおじさん、ローザおばさん、そして源氏さんの命を奪っておいて、この僕が見逃すと
ほほ生意気よ。
What? nice switch to the candlestick lights. Thanks. Ronove had been intending to press his palm against Jessica's chest and stop her heart, but a short distance away his hand had stopped. What? What? On the carpet at their feet? Plop, plop, small red flowers bloomed one after another. The seeds of those flowers had fallen down from high, high above, all the way from Jessica's fist, held up as though to strike the heavens. What? Ronove's nose was stained red with spurting blood? Oh, new track. And those drops were dripping onto the carpet.
Did she punch him in the face?
Oh, she punched him in the face!
Wow.
次期当主としての回答は別だぜ。
お伺いします。
大好きな人も家族も親族もみんな私が守る。私が当主なの。お父さんは威張ってるだけじゃない。私や母さんを守ってた。後ろ宮家を受け継ぐ重圧ってやつと何十年も戦ってた。だからわかるさ、次期当主ってのはな、軽くねえんだよ。だからさ、捨てられるんだよ、自分の命。
Jessica knew. She knew that her father, in order to protect his family, was even now bluffing and fighting a solitary fight. Jessica understood something that his back had been telling her. Another left straight was buried into Ronove's face. That mighty strike wasn't due just to the brass knuckles she was using.
She was using brass knuckles.
It was the strike of a person, of a family head, who could throw away everything in order to protect.
父さんが次期当主の資格を失ったなら、順当に次の当主は私が継承するぜ。
What happened to the whole, if you step out of line, everybody else will die right away?
I don't know, man. There seems to be a lot of leniency in these.
後ろ宮家当主、後ろ宮ジェシカ、これ以上好きにさせるほどふぬけちゃいねえぜ。
素晴らしい回答です。先ほどの点数を改めましょう。その回答に10点、見事な左ストレート。
ってことはあと20点プラスで100点満点だな。
Oh, we're getting some fight scenes here. Runaway backflipped away from her and violently wiped away the blood pouring from his nose. It had become not blood, but petals of a wet red rose. The blood on his face was wiped off, and in its place was a grin from a great delight, which he had last felt so many centuries ago that he could no longer remember just how long it had been.
ジェシカ様の何点に値するかどうか、このロノブへ試させていただきますよ。
うぜえぜ、かかってきやがっ。
Here we go.
おいで、奈落へ。
Ooh.
Is she fighting George?
Yep. Oh, another new track. Beneath George's feet, a pitch black pit suddenly opened its mouth wide. You could maybe call it a gap. Of course, George had no way of resisting. After being swallowed up by it, George fell out of a pitch black hole that had opened up in the ceiling of the arbor. Oh! As George fell down, he was hit sharply in the gut, like a precision B-strike by a reverse roundhouse kick from a stiletto heel. Launched out of the arbor, the instant George thought he was about to be swallowed up by a rose bush. Another pitch black hole opened up and swallowed George up. And this time, a pitch black hole opened up in front of Gap at her feet, spitting a defenseless George out of it.
Sorry
By that
about
time,
that, Junkrona.
Gap had already finished the preparatory motions for the next reverse roundhouse kick.
That was a lot of kicks.
George is getting kicked to death.
Jeez.
Oh shit. Right side of the head, below the right armpit, side of the right knee. As Gap danced and spun like a small cyclone, she kept hitting him right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot with successive roundhouse kicks. The fourth one became a sweep, cutting across George's feet from under him and making him fall down. But of course there was no floor there, but a pitch black hole, and George was swallowed up once again. Gap, once again, spun around like a small cyclone. George, likewise, was once again spat out from the ceiling of the arbor.
食らって噛みしめなさい。
Oh.
奈落の終点が一撃。死ね！
Oh shit. What?
Is George gonna pull out some bullshit power?
The sharp strike of the queen bee pierced the heavens like a rising cyclone. It kicked through George's abdomen as he fell from the ceiling, and then time froze. George was pinned in midair by Gap's raised leg. Still pinned in midair, George moaned. Then Gap, with George still hung up on her foot, grinned.
認めてあげるわ。君の態度だけは一人前よ。でも力が伴わなきゃダメだわ。知ってる？この世を滑るには3つの力が必要だ。1つは権力、1つは財力、最後は何か知ってる？
本で読んだよ。暴力だろう。
正解。君にはそれが足りないわよ。
Gap finally released George by kicking him upwards one more time, adding in another roundhouse kick and smashing him into a pillar. F.
Rip.
権力を伴わない王者にも財力を伴わない王者にも金蔵はその3つを兼ね備えたわ。だからこそ暴君として君臨した。君も金蔵の後継者を名乗るならばその貫禄を見せてごらんなさい。ほら、いつまで寝ているの？立ちなさい。じゃないとまた落ちるわよ。
Fall.
I was just gonna say that. Gonna fall.
Oh shit, another new soundtrack.
悪くない動きです。しかしレディには少々ふさわしくないかと存じ。
Oh.
ひょろひょろとちょっこまかと反撃してこねえのかよ。なめてんのか。
Runaway was dodging skillfully, jumping back and avoiding Jessica's fists, but he still wasn't striking back himself. Because of his agile movements, as swift as a flag whipping around in strong winds, Jessica's fist wasn't even able to touch him. Amidst a feeling of her blood running hot, Jessica regained her offensive composure. Even though this room was large for a bedroom, it was still too small an area to keep up such exaggerated dodges for long. She calmly realized that and started using not just her fists, but her legs as well. MMA beast.
ボクシングは腕でやるだけのうちは半人前です。腕は熱く吠えたける獅子のように、そして足は冷たく獲物を狙って追い詰める蛇のように。
蛇に足はねえぜ。
確かに。
Jessica began cornering Ronove towards the wall with perfect footwork. She wouldn't let him get around her. Ronove's magnificent dodges looked flashy, but they would needed sufficient room. When once cornered, he wouldn't be able to dodge anymore. Jessica had a good understanding of the special characteristics of her equipped weapon, the brass knuckles. This powerful weapon's most notable characteristic was how it didn't let the opponent defend. Even if they blocked it with their arm would receive direct damage. If it hit the wrong way, it might even break the bone, so she pressed it forward. She would block off his escape routes, and then, with this fist, she would chip down the demon.
おっ、おや、いつも。
ようやく追い詰めたぜ。みんなを捕らえている場所はどこだ。クソジジイのいる場所はどこだ。洗いざらい喋ってら、そのヒゲをむしり取るだけで勘弁してやるぜ。
And before Ronove just slices her in half.
Honestly, we all know he's holding back.
これでもセットに毎朝1時間をかけているのですか。
ギブスの世話になったらそれもできねえな。
おっと。
Ronove had blocked Jessica's lunged fist with his arm. He tried to act as though it was no big deal, but it must have hurt a lot. Jessica grinned. Ronove smiled the same way, but twitched slightly.
なるほど、これは確かに痛いですね。
最終勧告、泣いて詫びろ。
それはできませんね。キャラが崩れます。
ならお前が崩れ落ちるといいぜ。
And
ツ
just
ルベンチだ。
Consecutive normal punches.
Yeah. Jessica's iron fists were pounded into Ronove, but Jessica was startled. The impact felt wrong, and there was the sound of breaking glass. Nani? At a glance, it looked like Ronove had caught Jessica's fist with his palm. That wasn't quite true. When Ronove opened his hand, a faint purple glowing barrier like a glass shield appeared there, stopping the attack by a hair's breadth. Yep. He's not holding back now. Pulling herself together, Jessica struck out with her fists again, but with truly magnificent movements, Ronove caught all of them.
It's an AT field.
悪魔ですね。この程度の魔法くらいは、それにしても、なかなか人間だったら、私はここで降参だったでしょう。悪魔だから、まだ戦い続けることができる。
私の真似を。
それで終わりで攻撃を繰り出すばかりで、ご自身の防御がおろそかではありませんか。
Oh shit. Oh shit. Ronove pounded his palm into Jessica's stomach, stopping abruptly as just a fraction away. Jessica was repelled by the purple shield, tumbled backward, and smashed her head onto the bed.
人間ごときに私のシールドは破れません。もう二度と私の体に触れることができると思わぬことです。
ならよ、そのシールドごと
here we
ぶち
go.
抜いてやるぜ。
不屈な方だ。その根性。なるほど。次期当主として実にふさわしい。もう少しお相手させていただきましょう。これも試験官の役得です。
砕けろ
Gap looked down on George, sneering.
Yeah.
He was lying face down in a puddle on the rose garden path. The merciless rain beat down on him so that it looked as though even the heavens were mocking him.
立ちなさい。また落ちるわよ。
George stood up shakily. It seemed that his spirit hadn't given in, but the damage to his body was fairly significant.
命乞いなさい。君のしていることは何も選ばない。4番、君が選んだのは3番目の選択肢でしょ。両手両膝をついて詫びれば私へ、そしたら君を地下牢へ案内してあげる。そこで君は愛するシャノンと非力な自分のために できるわよね。その覚悟はあると。君は
George didn't answer, but his gaze was still obstinately resting on surrender.
あまり強情が過ぎると今度こそ
Resisting
奈落の
surrender.
底の底まで
Gab's strength was undeniable. There was no doubt that Shannon's group, watching through the three-sided mirror, understood that, probably even more clearly than George himself.
庄司様、もうやめて。私なんかのために。
姉さん、
私のことなんて好きにならなければ、ジョージ様は誰とも戦わなくていいんでしょ。なら、私なんて捨ててください。忘れてください。
There was no way for that voice to reach George, but even so, George answered.
嫌だね、僕は屈服しない。
へえ、どうして？
それが僕の覚悟だからだ。僕はシャノンのために全てと戦う。そして全てに認めさせ、全てに僕たちを祝福させる。
ねえ、聞かせて。どうしてあのシャノンとかいう家具のために？あんなのただの出来損ないじゃない。給仕一つ満足にできないガラクタ家具だわ。
愛する女性への暴言を。
だったら何？ひ弱な僕ちゃんが私にどう抗うというのか。
人を愛するとは強く、それを知ったから僕は強くなれた。シャノン、僕は君を愛している。その言葉だけで僕は何度でも立ち上がれるんだ。
シャノンは力をよ。私に愛を語られても。
いや、伝わった。それが愛だからだ。シャノンには今僕の言葉が聞こえているよ。そうだと信じられることこそが愛だ。
こいつ。
Without love, the truth cannot be
シャ
seen.
ノン、君は家具なんかじゃない。家具だったとしても世界でただ一つの僕だけの家具だ。
We'd save a hell of a lot of money on our
僕と寄り添
on
って
our
ほしい。
house.
僕には君が
So we wouldn't have any other
永
furniture
遠
in
に
it.
必要だ。
Oh. I was just about to say this is such a touching moment, and then you came and said that.
That's what I'm here for, John.
庄司様。
焼けるわ。口説きならうちの人を超えたわね。
Especially for best girl.
若さですな。
愛が強さなら坊やはどうしてそんなにひ弱なの？その弱さがつまり君の愛の程度なわけね。婚約者への愛もひ弱、両親のあっけない死に様もひ弱。君の人生は何から何までひ弱だわ。
シャノンは僕に愛と強さを教えてくれた。もし君が僕の強さだけでシャノンへの愛を確かめようというのなら、僕の愛を教えよ
う。言う。なるほど。何度も蹴り倒されて転がされ、それでも立ち上がるのがシャノンからもらった強さだったなら、あっけなく殺されたあんたのお父さんとお母さんからは何をもらったの？
Suddenly, there was a blackout outside.
What?
違う。これは。
The thing blocking Gap's vision was the bottom of George's shoe.
即
Just
答
kick her in the face.
Here we go.
尾骨骨折。
Oh! It had stopped right in front of the tip of Gap's
母
nose.
さんにもらったものはこの蹴りだ。
After several moments delay, Gap jumped back. Of course, it was too late. If George hadn't stopped, he probably would have caused exactly the damage he had announced.
そして父さんにもらったのが忍耐力。
Anger with a low boiling point isn't something to be truly feared. True anger is cultivated through
君
patience.
の暴力的意思表示は理解し、また婚約者と両親への名誉毀損も理解した。そしてそれを撤回する気がないんだね。
こいつ。
君の攻撃はもう十分に理解したから、そろそろいいかな。反撃しても。
ほざくな。暴力の分際で。
George, the analyzer and logician, is the guy that he took all those beatings for a purpose. He's calculating. A pitch black hole opened at its mouth at George's feet. But George rapidly opened his leg, straddling the hole. The same move wouldn't work again.
Nice.
It was an extremely light dodge, and the upper part of his body didn't even quiver.
忍耐とは熱くならず冷静に相手の出方を研究することだ。
Yep.
何のために？決まってるじゃないか。わかるかい？
わかんないわ。
反撃してきっちり借りを返し、
Huh?
二度とちょっかいを出したくないと思わ
So you
せ、
can beat them. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
ultimately.
Yep.
涙と鼻水で顔面をぐちゃぐちゃにして、それを拭うのを忘れて額を地面にこすりつけて、何度も謝りたくなるほどに完膚なきまでに叩きのめすためだよ。
George dashed. Pits opened one after another, but George would not step in them again. Because she persisted in that move, Cap was captured for the second time.
後ろ回し蹴り、顎部骨折。
It was stretched out far more forcefully and beautifully than Gap's had been. Of course, while it centered directly on Gap's face, it stopped a hair's breadth away. George is such a savage.
He's just playing with her.
Gap kicked at George's shins as a diversion, and the instant of weakness when he tried to deal with that, she aimed a kick at his stomach. Actually hit her, George. It was a bead-like stab by her stiletto heel. She's trying to kill you. Actually, fracture her jaw, but it sliced through the air where George was no longer.
上段かかと落とし、鎖骨骨折。
Gap, can you raise your leg just a little higher next time? From behind Gap, George coldly announced that, his foot still raised. If that monarch's heel had been swung down, a collarbone fracture would have been an understatement.
こいつ。資金じゃ私より強いの。距離を。
She jumped backwards to gain a large distance. She jumped and leapt and even backflipped, increasing the distance between them. It should have been magnificent, but for some reason it looked very similar to the movements of a small, scared animal. If she opened the distance, she could fight at the range that was her specialty, using a measure of pitfalls and kicking techniques, but George isn't letting her get that far away.
バカが。私を倒せるチャンスを3度も逃した傲慢。
Gap landed beautifully and tried to aim a pitfall, when a razor-sharp wind cut her bangs. Yes, cut them! Oh!
What is going on?
And twice. This time it didn't just stop a hair's breadth away, but scattered her bangs with its air pressure.
アルマーダ・コンマルテーロ。
What? Harry Potter, is that you?
眼底骨折。
What language is that?
Latin, probably. Maybe? I have no idea. Italian?
I don't think it's Italian.
I have no idea what it is. It's magic.
I've never seen calm before, but yeah, maybe it's just a magic language.
第2撃で脳挫傷。
Oh, fuck. Holy shit, this guy.
He's just going ham.
Gap was too shocked to speak. George had closed all that distance in an instant and let off a fearsomely nimble mid-air double kick. Furthermore, with the accuracy and edge of a razor, it had cut nothing more than just a few of her bangs.
Okay, I'm sorry to be that guy. This is cool and all, but none of this shit actually happened.
How do you know?
Because witches aren't real and magic doesn't exist, that's how I know, John.
Well, what if it's not a magic person, but what if George is actually fighting something? Maybe it's actually happening, though.
Where the hell did he learn how to fight like that?
What if he took MMA classes or something?
I mean, I guess, but like...
He learns the power of kicks from karate, see?
Sure, we'll go with
テコン
that.
ドーで速度
Speed from taekwondo.
カポエイラでは自在の間合いを学んだ
See? MMA. What did I say?
母さんがいろいろと移り気でねでもいろいろと特徴を学べて勉強になった
And this is how he learns.
なぜ当てない。私が女だからとでも。
君は王者の力として3つ目に暴力と言ったね。君はどうやらまだその暴力の意味を誤解しているようだ。この場合の暴力とはね、短絡的に振るわれる乱暴のことを言うんじゃない。敵対すれば無傷では済まないという抑止のことを指すんだよ。
抑止。
That was the point. That was why all of George's attacks up
That was
until
the
then
point.
had stopped just before the blow. These bare misses, which were more difficult than hitting directly, had all been performed so splendidly, and any one of them would probably have crushed Gap in a single hit if George had wished it. He was deliberately not doing that.
君も言ったろ。暴力は滑る力だ。暴力で相手を破壊してしまったら滑られないじゃないか。王者の暴力とはね、見せるだけなんだよ。破壊しない。屈服させて自らの財産とするんだからね。君に泡でも吹かれたらみんなの囚われてる場所に案内させられないよ。
Gap had to admit it. She had to admit that George understood force in the truest sense.
みんなのところへ案内してもらうよ。抵抗はおすすめしない。もう寸止めはしないよ。
ごめんねリア。あんたの兵隊
The fuck? That's cheating.
私一人じゃ手に負えないわこいつ。
Okay, if she's a demon and she can use magic, she's worried about a scrawny kid.
Well, I think the only
That
magic
can
she
kick
has
her.
is... I think the only magic she actually has is opening up holes in the ground.
Really? Is
I
it
think
that
that's-
specialized?
I think so. I mean, look, her name is Gap.
I mean, yeah, but like, Beatrice can do more than just kill people, right? Like,
Have you ever seen Beatrice do anything other than give orders and turn into butterflies?
I mean, I guess not. I mean, we've seen her do other stuff, but we don't know if what we saw or what we were shown actually happened.
The only people that actually seem to be have special abilities in fighting are all the furniture, like the goats, Ronove. Anybody with furniture seems to have these swords and shields, but if they're not furniture, I don't think they have OP or special fighting abilities. I think, well, Gap does, obviously, with her gaps. But
Gap!
thunk, thunk, thunk. 3 muscular goat attendants fell out. They surrounded George.
増援会？それは僕がひ弱であることを撤回したと受け止めていいのかな。
認めるわ。あんたの人間の力を侮ってたわ。
違うね。これが愛を覚えた男の強さなのさ。
ほざけ！臭いことをシャーシャーと。さあヤギたち、その男を潰して肉団子にしてやりなさい。このヤギたちはバカだけどパワーだけはあるみたいよ。あんたの死体婚約者にも見分けがつかなくしてあげるわ。
Oh
降
shit.
伏拒否並びに継戦の意思了解したよ。以後は君の攻撃に等しい分だけ
Oh,
君に
finally.
実害が及ぶことを宣言する。僕をまだ攻撃するつも
See
り
if
な
you can
ら
actually do it.
相応の損害を受けることになると覚悟するがいいよ。
What? When George proclaimed that, a faint red magic circle rose up around him?
What?
But it seemed that George couldn't see it. However, Gap, being a demon, could.
魔法？どうしてこいつが防御結界を？しかもそれ
反撃。
それがあんたの抑止という意味。
From a demon's perspective, that might have been magic, but in George's eyes, it was determination. It was absolute determination that would show no mercy to anyone who wished for further fighting. And force them to prepare for a significant counterattack. Absolute determination becomes magic. George is determined. 20 points.
Kinzo was determined.
Oh. Runabout had been accurately blocking Jessica's fist with the shield, but something felt odd. Even though he was certainly stopping the blows with the shield, he felt his arm beginning to strain and ache. All physical damage should have been shut off. However, the damage from her fist was gradually being transmitted to his arm and was accumulating. Runabout acted like he was composed so that this wouldn't be noticed.
私はバテねえぜ。どうしたよおっさん。ちっとは答えてきたかよ。
いくら攻撃しようとも無駄ですよ。
全然ダメだ。
私のシールドはあなたには砕けないと。
砕けないからってよ。殴るのをやめはしないぞ。どんな固い心にだって言葉はわずかずつ響き、やがてはひびを入れることだってできるんだ。私は信じてる。この世に無駄な努力なんて存在しないってな。だから生きるんだろ、思いっきり。言葉だっていつか通じるなら拳だって同じってことだぜ。私の辞書には諦めるって文字は書いちゃいねえ。
Those words were probably aimed at Cannon. Cannon had technically rejected Jessica's words, but Jessica knew that no matter how obstinate his heart was, those words would eventually soak through, and she believed that surely the day would come when he would understand her heart and stop calling himself furniture and disparaging himself, and step out into his new life. So Jessica wouldn't give up. She wouldn't lose heart.
バカみてえだろ。男には理解できねえだろ。恋する乙女ってのはな、無駄だから諦めるって考えがねえんだぜ。
At that time, Runaway certainly saw. He saw the red-hot, burning glow of light surround Jessica's fists. Determination.
これは参りました。エンチャントですか。浸透付与とは厄介。
Within her relentless fists and determination dwelled the power to succeed no matter what. From a demon's perspective, that was magic. Absolute determination becomes magic.
It's the second time they've said that.
Absolute determination becomes magic. How many? That's the episode title. We're done here.
That's it. They're
Without
drilling
love,
it into
truth
us.
cannot be seen. Absolute determination becomes magic.
Na.
And above all, they needed a lot of money right now.
Right now. Right away.
無駄なんてことはねえだろ。通ってんだろ。私腕をかばってるぜ、おっさん。
もう少し本気を出さざるを得ないようですね。おっしゃる通りのようです。この世に無駄なことなどない。
そうさ、無駄なんて諦めたらそこで人生が終わっちまうぜ。通じるんだよ、絶対に。
I'm an idiot, so this is the only way I can live. But even so, I believe that one day, I'll definitely be able to teach Kanekun about a new world, so I'm not going to buckle in a place like this. I'll definitely defeat you, and save everyone. Kraus was repeating his useless effort in trying to somehow open a hole between the metal bars, just as Gap. Oh wait, she's a bit occupied right now. Useless. There's nothing useless. There's nothing.
Can you imagine if instead of Gab, her name was just Hole? This is the 27th demon, Hole.
Hole. The lookouts had been swallowed up by those black pits and disappeared. Now was their do or die chance. This was only their only chance to break the bars.
よせ、無茶だ。クラウスさん、素手でどうにかなるもんじゃない。道具を探しましょう。無茶をするんじゃな。無駄と諦めたらそれまでと。私の体は無理でも小柄なシャノンかカノンが抜けられれば。
この段階に至っては出ない知恵を絞るより力を合わせましょう。 私もやるわ。
They're actually gonna try tearing it
カ
apart.
ノン君、男の子でしょ。手を貸して。カノン君
What?
What's going on?
旦那様、下がってください。
Oh shit.
Oh, he's going.
何をする気だ。
いいよね、姉さん。
Oh shit.
もう一度だけ
They're breaking out.
あがいても。
Escape from the jail.
私ももう一度だけあがくよ。一度だけじゃない。何度でも。
Jessica's voice had reached Cannon. It had certainly permeated into his stone-cold heart, and George's voice had reached Shannon. If the love he had shown was embodied by strength, she would have to respond in the same way. An incredible metallic sound rang out. The first flash cut horizontally through the several of the metal bars, and with the next flash they were cut through horizontally again, causing them to clatter to the ground like bamboo shoots cut by a sword. Kraus, Kyrie, and Nanjo didn't even have a clue about what had just happened.
南條先生、お屋敷や廊下をどっちに？
左奥だ、左奥。
参りましょう。旦那様、すぐにワルギリア様に気づかれます。
あんたたちは一体何なの？
僕たちは。
When Cannon hung his head, a little unfaltered, Shannon slapped his shoulder, smiled, and spoke.
私たちは人間です。
Yes!
Nice.
There we go.
Hell yeah.
Do you want to read?
Yeah.
Sure, you can read from here on. We got another new song, I think.
Speaking of the music, do you think you could turn it down one notch?
Oh yeah. Is it loud? Super loud for you?
A little bit, yeah.
Alright.
At least.
I will turn it down a little bit. One notch. Alright. There you go.
Alright.
警戒網に反応。脱獄です。なぜか見張りのヤギがいません。
え？どうしてです？ガープですね。
Go.
人の召喚物を勝手に。ガップガップガップ。
交戦規定確認。脱走者への射殺許可を申請であります。
おやりなさい。やっちゃいなさい。
It's a very Kumasawa thing, isn't it?
ガップガップガップガップガップ。
了解であります。45、410追撃狙撃戦準備。弾手収束誘導弾。ワルギリア様、逃亡阻止結界を。
いったったったそうでしたね。ここから逃がしはしませんよ。いったったガプガプ言ってたら舌噛みました。
As they ran down the underground passage, the path in front of them was once again blocked by metal bars. The door was, of course, locked. However, that was no problem for them now.
カノン、また鉄格子だ。頼む。
はい、旦那様。
しかしすごいわ。一体どういう原理なのかしら。
原理など興味ないね。大事なのは彼に鉄格子が切断できて、気にするなカノン。やれ。
お任せを。
There we go.
Cannon sliced the metal bars again with a red trail. What'd you say?
I said, there we go. Cannon.
Yeah. There was a harsh, strange noise and only a metal bars. The game caught me mid yawn. Sorry.
No, no problem.
なんとこれは頑丈な。
違う。エンチャントされてるワルギリア様の魔法錠だ。
切断できる。
もちろん。でも時間をかけるよ。
3分間待ってやる。
After taking a deep breath and focusing his concentration, Cannon once again extended his sword that trailed red. When he pressed it hard against the metal bars, sparks sprayed, almost as though he was burning through them with a blowtorch.
切断はできそうだが手こずりそうだな。
旦那様、敵に捕捉されました。下がってください。
追って誰も来てないわよ。
私の後ろに下がってください。狙われてます。45データ治療。標的は捕捉。地形誤差修正。射撃曲線形成。制御点補正完了。410データリンク。410データ受領。危険区域確認。問題なし。
WO 師団装填48発。個別誘導 F&F。収束誘導弾準備完了。
45射撃準備完了。収束誘導弾装填。410にひひ射撃。
A golden arrow that sparkled gold was fired, leaving a gold trail streaming behind. So much gold. A golden arrow that sparkled gold, leaving a gold tail. It drew a gold curve, went through the golden door, through the gold keyhole. I'm sorry. Down the stairs towards the underground path at full speed.
One could even say it had absolute determination.
Maybe. That's where it gets its power from.
黄金の矢はシールドで防げない。カノン君、迎撃態勢。リンクしよ
う。ゲートキーパー了解。姉さんと一緒に戦うのは久しぶりだ。動じらないでよ。
They're gonna link up? What is going on?
本気でやる。
なら問題ない。
Cannon stopped cutting the bars and stood in front of Shannon. Behind him, Shannon closed her eyes, concentrating her mind, focusing deep into the darkness of the underground path. A goddess. A guided cluster round is a special kind of arrow made up of 45 sub-rounds bound together. It explodes mid-flight and divides into 48 mini arrows. The strength of each individual one is low, but they pierce through all shields and possess total lethality against ground troops. Sounds like they're talking about like a precision artillery strike, like.
Yep, I agree.
And on top of that, each one of the 48 possesses autonomous guidance towards their individual targets.
光った。分裂した。
収束誘導弾分裂確認。師団46、7、8、48迎撃完成。カノンへデータリンク。
カノンデータ受領。姉さんの能力はすごいな。48発全部見える。
迎撃優先順位に注意。姉さんを信じて。
もちろんだ。僕は目を開ける必要さえない。
迎撃開始。
はあ
？What the heck?
目標健在。迎撃されました。48発。
にひゃ
シャノンとカノンはもともと一組の家具ですからね。揃うと手強いこと。あいたたた。
Furniture pair?
こんな家になっちゃうかしら。
Apparently that's a thing.
Like an ottoman and a futon? An ottoman
or
and a chair?
Two chairs cut from the same tree. I don't know.
弾種を変更。精密高速狙撃弾。精密狙撃戦準備。
そりゃいいね。ゲートキーパーごときじゃ防御不能だに。精密狙撃戦了解。精密射撃用データ収集開始。
Maybe they're secretly twins.
I was actually just thinking that, to be honest.
When you said cut from the same tree, I was like, maybe they're actually twins.
That would be interesting.
一つわかるのは、二人に頼らなきゃ死んでたってことね。
カノン君、ありがとう。鉄格子に戻って。多分、次のは迎撃できない弾が。
そんな攻撃をどう防ぐんだ。
撃たせません。カノン君、レース戦防備。
Spirit particle combat. At those words, Cannon closed his eyes tightly and clenched his teeth. With Shannon at the center, a pressure and impact blasted out that could only be perceived by those not human. What is that?
The animation, what the heck?
That was a lot of... I couldn't tell what all those languages were.
Real anime shit here.
Seriously.
射撃システムエラー。ダメだ、再起動。あれあれ。
霊波妨害、霊視防護、急げ。何をしてるか、早く耳を塞げ。45。
An unseen, unheard impact blasted towards the Chiester sisters. 00 and 410 crouched down, covering their ears, but 45 didn't make it in time. Still standing bolt upright, her eyes rolled inside her head.
What?
What's going
What?
on?
Cute.
It's kind of cute, but what's going on? Did she just get turned into a rabbit in real life?
45損傷。コンパイラのエンジンがいっちゃったよ。きゃー、私もノイズがひどいに。
She got mind broken.
45、
Oh.
410、そして WO 損傷。狙撃戦を断念。リンクでもろに来た。再起動しないと。
Raising their spirit particle sensitivity for precision sniping had backfired. They had taken the full brunt of the spirit particle shockwave that Shannon had Okay, alright. This is ridiculous. They keep bringing in all this new stuff. No, none of this is happening. None of this is real.
What? It's magic. Absolute determination is magic. There's stuff that's happening, but what is happening? Is the question.
I don't know what's actually happening, but none of this particle, spirit, Galaga gun, whatever.
How do you know? Maybe magic actually is real.
John, you've been saying magic isn't real for the last year.
And you've been saying it might be real.
I don't know. We've come a long way. I think we're different people now, you know.
I'm starting to become a believer.
Well, we'll just have to see. That's how this entire thing has been. Now, where was I? And not only 45 who had been hit directly, but also 00 and 410 who had been linked with her were taken down.
大丈夫ですか？後でまた美味しい紅茶を入れてあげますからね。しっかり。申し訳ございませんであります。再起動をかけます。数百秒ほどお待ちを。
All of the Chiester sisters collapsed. They would probably get back up eventually, but it looked like it would be hard for them to return to the battle lines for a time.
家具が武具を一時的にとはいえ退けますか。なるほど。あの子が面白がる筋書きは実に大番狂わせが多いこと。
Regalia tore the air with a large motion as though opening a door.
さあさあおいでなさい。ヤギお仕事の時間ですよ。脱走者たちを殺して捕らえなさい。
Arise, gods.
死体でいいのですよ。どうせ蘇生できるし。
The chat is pretty incredible right now. I don't know if you've been looking at it.
I have.
Bunny aliens from the dark side of the moon. I love it.
That's what they are.
A gold-colored door opened in the air, and countless giant goats with muscular bodies peeked their faces out.
さあさあ急ぎなさい。脱走者は5人いるから5等賞までの早い者勝ち。素敵なご褒美がありますよ。 さあさあ頑張って頑張って
Ganbatte. Virgilia clapped her hands, urging them on.
Uprise.
After glancing at each other at those words, the goats rushed to the door at once, trying to get out, making the exit as tight a squeeze as the trains during the commuter rush. Each wanted to get out first, so none of them could get out. Virgilia held her head in frustration. But at that time, Cannon had managed to cut just enough bars to make a gap that would be slipped through. It proved a bit of work for Kraus, large as he was, and Nanjo, whose waist was nearly his downfall. But even so, they all managed to make it through. But their relief at getting through was short-lived. Immediately, another set of metal bars blocked the way in front of them.
厳重ね。よっぽどここの人を逃がしたくなかったんでしょうね。
カノン、
That's usually what a
すまんが
dungeon's
もう
for.
一度頼む。
Yeah.
辛いだろうが頼む。
There was sweat on Cannon's forehead. You could tell at a glance that cutting the metal bars, which had been made even more solid by magic, was exhausting him considerably.
はい、お任せを旦那様。
お前にしかできん。どうか頼む。
Only he could do it. Holding tightly onto those words, Cannon concentrated his mind again and once more set himself to the task of cutting the bars.
後方敵が来ます。複数。
ええ、今度は私たちにもわかるわ。すごい地響きね。とんでもない化け物が殺到してくるのがわかるわ。
It's just a bunch of buff-ass goons.
今抜けた鉄格子を私が魔法城で封鎖します。ヤギたちごときには破れません。
Shannon held her hand out towards the bars they had come through, but she stopped right away.
どうかしましたか。
ワルギリア様が霊波妨害の中和を開始。破られるとまずい。シエスタ姉妹の再起動後のイニシアチブを奪われます。
可愛いウサギたちをいじめてくれたお返しはたっぷり。この小賢しい霊視で優位に立とうというなら、それを丸ごと剥ぎ取って私が奪ってあげます。
I'm lagging a lot right now, John.
You're lagging a lot?
Yeah. Does anything sound off, or does it sound okay?
You sound okay.
Okay.
Is it? How long has it been lasting? The lag?
Just like a couple minutes. It was doing it earlier too, but then it stopped.
All right.
I think it's doable. I'll keep going. I'll let you know if it gets really bad.
Okay.
姉さんは霊波妨害に集中して。あのヤギたちにその鉄格子の隙間は狭すぎる。しばらくは食い止めてくれるはず。
何を言っているかさっぱりだもん。
だいぶやばいってことだけは理解できたわ。
Kyrie picked up the metal bar that Cannon had just cut. Kraus had no weapon, but he rubbed his fist, and the two of them together glared into the depths of the underground passage where the shaking was coming from.
この鉄格子で遮るものはおしまいのはずだ。ここから屋敷までどのくらいあるんです？かなり歩く。道は平坦だが30分は歩いた記憶が。
全力疾走ならその半分ってことだわ。
They couldn't tell for sure since they didn't have the three-sided mirror. There was no guarantee that George and Jessica could hold out against demon opponents for all that time.
歩く2倍の速度で走れば15分。さらにその2倍で走れば8分を切るわ。
さらにその倍の全力疾走なら5分かかる。問題ない。むちゃくちゃな計算ですな。ですが、カジマの計算式はそういうものです。
Not just like run. I've never run before in my life.
Somebody carry me.
申し訳ございません。旦那様方。
Oh, by the way, one thing I
Yeah.
realized is, so remember when we were asking what was on Kumasawa's son's shirt?
Oh yeah.
Well, what was written on her son's shirt? What else would be written on the son of Kumasawa's shirt? Macro.
Oh, is it
It says
actually
yes, it's macro.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, there's got to be more significance to that than just being funny, right? Like, is
Mackerel?
mackerel actually important to Umineko?
I don't think mackerel's important to Umineko. I think it's just goofy. But if the solution to this whole thing is mackerel, I'm gonna be. I don't know what I'm gonna be.
There's gonna be a riot. I'm gonna riot, even if it's just me.
I will riot too.
Gonna protest.
任せたまえ。カノンは1秒でも早く鉄合しろ。シャノンはワルギリアとかいう魔女への妨害に専念したまえ。追っては私とキリエさんで防ぐ。
Then the roars of beasts rang out from the darkness, and numerous fiery, glowing, bright red eyes appeared.
Just throw Nanjo on the ground.
Just leave Nanjo behind as a sacrifice.
Yeah. It'll take a while to devour.
Yeah. He's got a lot of mass on him. He'll keep them full for a little bit. They might get lethargic, you know, like that after meal, like tiredness. The goats rushing towards them with thunderous force were several levels more massive than the guards had been. The tremors they created were almost like an earthquake. Power and terror was tremendous, but Kyrie instead laughed with relief. Those massive bodies wouldn't be able to go through the gap in the bars. The group of goats crashed into the metal bars with a terrific sound like that of a train colliding with a dead end. Clumps of dirt fell here and there from the ceiling, and you could tell that the metal bars had buckled inwards. The force of their charge must have been no different from a train. If the metal bars hadn't been there, they would undoubtedly have swallowed all the 5 of them up and crushed them in an instant. When the group of goats pressed up against the metal bars realized that the 5 were right in front of them, they let out a terrible howl, trying to intimidate the 5. Although it was hard to tell whether that was really intimidation or because of the pain from being pushed and shoved. One calm goat among them figured out that it just needed to do something about the metal bars, and grabbed 2 of them with its massive arms and began bending them as though opening metal doors. So, like, they can think, you know?
The goats?
Yeah. And they obviously have some form of personality because, I mean, this one goat isn't freaking out and is actually, like, directing them as to how to do
Goats are
it.
humans, too!
I mean, maybe they are. We can't
Shit.
put anything past them.
Oh shit. What if every single time a chess piece dies, they turn into a goat?
Becomes a goat.
That's
horrifying.
The goats are all the dead chess pieces.
That's really scary, man.
I
that
figured
would
it out.
be interesting.
I figured it out.
Hashtag goats are humans.
Yes. Hashtag goats are humans.
Erica123 says goat coon.
Yep.
Goat coon is best boy. Kyrie sharply jabbed her metal pole at that goat's vitals. The goat let out a roar of anguish. It probably hurt a lot, but that was all. It wasn't enough to bring it down. Still holding the stuck-in metal pole, Kyrie relinquished the opposite tip to Kraus. Kraus ran there with all his might, leaping into the air and kicked it in with all his weight, and kicking the... sorry, this sentence is weird. Kraus ran there with all his might, leapt into the air, and kicked it in with all his weight and kicking power combined. That was a lot. All of that destructive power was focused on that single pole, drilling it in. Nice.
大丈夫ですかな。幹部は揉まないように。お薬は後で処方しましょう。お大事に。
Whoa, savage!
Nanjo's being a... Oh, that's absolutely barbaric. As the goat who had taken a pile bunker to its vitals writhed with teary eyes, it nodded its head.
私たちのリンクも結構いけるじゃない。シャノンちゃんたちには負けられないわ。
当然じゃないか。私たちは仲良し一族だね。
Sorry, I just choked on something. I think it was what?
that deserves a slow clap.
Ugh.
Loving family.
二人がかりでならいけるわ。次、右側のあいつ。
了解だ。
Maladjusted Matt says that the goats were us all along.
Yep, they were.
いい嫁さんじゃないか。ルドルフめ、少し愚痴が多かったんじゃないか。
へえ、後で聞かせてもらうわ。ルドルフさん、天国で青くなっても手遅れよ。
The goat's massive body sank into the rosebush. Even taking into account that a leg's power is 3 times that of an arm's, this strength surpassed common sense. That massive body flying up and through the air from being kicked in the chin. It was too epic. That's such an epic gamer moment, bro. Even George seemed a little surprised.
僕の蹴りが化け物にも通用したとはね。驚きだよ。
あんたの反撃特化結界のせいよ。ブレイズした攻撃力をそのまま自らに上乗せして、あんたの蹴りにはその化け物どもの怪力が加算されてるのよ。
へえ、よくわからないけど僕にぴったりじゃないか。誰であろうとも攻撃してくるなら等しい反撃を覚悟してもらう。専守防衛、僕のポリシーそのものだ。
That's why Gap couldn't easily touch him. The counter-attacking type barrier had no defensive power. However, because of its counter-attacking characteristic, it could be useful in defense by making the opponent hesitate to attack. The goats were foolish, so they attacked without worrying, but the effect was being realized to the full against Gap.
こいつらは単調だね。パワーが互角であるならば小柄な方が有利だ。
Say her name completely different every time.
Go.
Go. He lightly dodged the log-like arm. When that arm touched the barrier that protected George, it let off a strong red light, and the tip of the foot that was counterattacking gained the same shine, and the superhuman power of the goat was added to George's own. Okay, alright. The second goat fell forwards and floated in the air for a second. Then, George's next roundhouse kick missed right over the falling goat's head. For an instant, the goat hoped to get away with its life. But no! Yeah! A heel was dropped onto the back of its head and it was forced to kiss the ground.
上段回し蹴りからの練りチャギは基本だろ。たまにやると結構当たるよ。
こいつ厄介だわ。マジで厄介だわ。
何が悪魔だ、何が魔女だ。六軒島の主人はこの後ろ宮家だよ。それを体で教えてやるよ。
こいつ。
The only way to finish off George now that his body was wrapped up in the counterattacking type barrier was to not allow him a counterattack. Next time she sucked him into the abyss, she would have to kick and drop him, kick and drop him, kick and drop him, until she kicked him to death. But George had already perfected reading the faint warning signs that told of the appearance of Gup's pitfalls. If he managed to jump over that next pit, then this time he would probably pulverize Gup's head with his whirlwind-like kick, without holding back in the slightest, just as has been done to his parents. She was able to envision that scene vividly. It was far too late now, but cursed Kinzo all the same for calling her out to this ridiculous island. Runaway finally started using, both of his hands for something. Both of his hands to form his shield. Sorry, I skipped over that. Without a more powerful shield, he wouldn't be able to completely block Jessica's fists anymore. The enchantment on Jessica's fists grew the more she fought. The permeation upgrade she had already stacked several times, and those fists had also been given an impact upgrade. a piercing upgrade, and a speed upgrade, making them fists worthy to fight on par with a demon. Alright, so this is something that I've been noticing as we've been going through this. They always talk about receiving damage, and I thought that was kind of weird, and I thought that it sounded like a video game.
Yes.
But now they're talking about like impact and piercing upgrades and like counterattacking, defensive, whatever. The terminology has to be important, right? Like there has to be a reason that the writer chose to write it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think so. Like it's obviously standing out.
But I don't think a game has anything to do with this unless we're just completely clueless.
This is all a simulation.
This is actually the Matrix.
へばってきたんじゃねえのかよ。動きが鈍ってきてるぜ。
いいえ。ジェシカ様の動きと思考、動体視力が飛躍的にエンチャントされているのです。私の動きは最初から変わっていませんよ。あなたの動きが私を捉えつつあるのです。
それでも反撃はしねえわけか。
これが私のこだわりですので。しかしこのままというわけにもいきますまい。そろそろ本気で終わりにさせてもらいますよ。
Oh shit.
Runaways first. Sorry. Runaway's face turned into an expression he had never shown before. It was truly demonic, and to Jeshka's eyes, full of respect. Because it was an expression only shown to enemies strong enough to make him get serious.
What is this expression?
We're gonna see it, and it's gonna be horrifying.
Oh.
なんだこれ。
With a whole body gesture that you couldn't call elegant, Runaway set up a shield with all his strength, the size and thickness of a wall. Its sturdiness was nothing like a shield. It was literally a wall. And on top of that, with all of Runaway's magical power, it pushed Jessica back bit by bit. Did he plan on pushing her back against the wall and crushing her to death? Jessica tried to break through the wall with both fists, but it was solid. Without any exaggeration, it was solid.
これがお前の本気かよ。上等だぜ。打ち砕いてやら。
今度はそうはさせませんよ。この壁は一味違います。どれ、私もエンチャントさせていただきましょう。
Runaway made magic signs with his fingers, almost like a ninja. The wall glowed red for just an instant and became imbued with some kind of ominous power. Almost immediately, Jessica also gained a first-hand understanding of this. Every time she pounded her fists against the wall, pain rebounded upon her as though glass fragments had scattered and hit all over her body.
攻撃反応装甲を付与させていただきました。ジェシカ様の攻撃を相殺することで威力を減退させ、
Upgrade complete.
のみならず反応破片で反撃までできる優れものです。殴り続けるのは大いに結構ですが、それは自らにも及びます。
つまりお前の壁と私の我慢比べってことかよ。上等だ。
ジェシカ様が膝をつくのが先か、壁に押し込まれるのが先か、見物させていただきましょう。
打ち破ってこの壁ごとお前の横っ面をぶっ飛ばす方が先かもな。見てやがれ。
Without hesitation, Jessica slammed both fists into the wall. Each time she did, a large amount of shards scattered, tormenting her body all over. Countless red cuts soon appeared all over her body. She grimaced at the intense pain, but her eyes were burning with fighting spirit, and her lips curved in a grin exactly the opposite of the pain.
カノン、まだかね。私たちは平気だが、奴らを防ぐ鉄格子が平気ではなさそうだ。
もう少しです。
こいつらキリがないわ。 おしくらまんじゅうだけで鉄格子を破りかねない。
The metal bars creaked under the strain of the group of goats. Several arms grabbed the bars, twisting them with superhuman strength. However, some bars were being pulled in opposite directions by different hands. Apparently, they really were stupid. That's great. The way those countless hands were grabbing the metal bars happened to match up by chance. Several hands grasping 2 metal bars neatly put their power together and pulled the bars to the left and right, creating an opening. The incredible sound of metal bending could be heard, and that gap was getting larger bit by bit. They attacked the arms of those goats one by one, but they weren't getting anywhere. They couldn't stop the gap from expanding left and right. A loud metallic sound came from behind them. Cannon had finally finished cutting.
キリエさん、レディーファーストだ。南條先生も続いて。
旦那様、ここは僕に任せてください。これは
Cannon's red sword, with which he had cut the metal bars, disappeared.
Oh no.
ごめん、ワルギリア様の霊視線影響下に入った。私たちの魔力が中和されてる。
What is
よく
this?
も大魔女と呼ばれた私にここまで抗ったものです。
I have no idea.
もはや
Purgatory
その地下道では
catastrophe
あなたたちの魔法は使えませんよ。
Rhapsody? Rhapsody?
Rhapsody?
Blah, blah, blah. Words.
A magic circle column drew complex magical formulae around Virgilia. With such full-fledged magic being used, Shannon's power couldn't even compete. On the contrary, it was surprising that she had withstood as much as she had.
霊視優勢を確保。さあ、シエスタ姉妹、今度こそあなたたちの出番ですよ。ってまだ再起動してるんですか？なんで最近の子は寝起きが悪いの？
申し訳ありませんであります。私たち全員バージョンが違ってて。
Wow, this track is a banger.
なんでバージョン変わるたびに
That
シ
is
ョ
pretty
ート
good.
カットとプルダウンがしっちゃかめっちゃかになるに。前回不正な終了がありました？管理者権限？何これわけわかんない
They're literally computers.
早く直して。
What?
Fix me quickly.
この得体トラブルシュートにコール。
they have to call IT.
何？ユーザーコードがないと教えない？
ユーザーコードは45が管理してるに。
Yeah.
What is going on?
Initiating reboot sequence. Shut
Holy
it up!
crap.
Shut it all down!
9999にしか聞こえ。紙に書かせろ。
言語支援システム再起動できてないから文字も書けないに。
Q Q Q Q.
お前たちはゆっくり修理していなさい。私が行ってきます。
ごめんなさい。
Double O is running on Windows XP. Or the what's the other one?
45.
45.
10.
410 is running on Windows 8.
Windows 93.
And 45 is running on Windows 96 or 95.
Incredible. I miss XP, man.
I miss
good-
Windows
those are good
98, man.
OS. Back in the day. The narrow underground passage was packed with ghosts, truly like a commuter train in the morning. Virgilia was again in disbelief at this congestion.
何をやってるんですか？え？ご褒美が欲しいから一番乗りがしたい？他のヤギにご褒美を奪われたくないから邪魔をし合っている？このおバカヤギたちが私が行きますから道を開けなさい。何？嫌ですって？ワルギリア様がご褒美を奪うつもりだ？なんでスクラム組んでるんですか？ きつい狭い。いつからここはヤギ専用車両に。うぎゅ
Oogie.
今お尻触った子、次の駅で降りなさい。
Oh my gosh.
何あなた、こっちへ来いって。
The 5 people in Krause's group dashed through the passageway with all their strength. They couldn't afford to dawdle around underground. They had to quickly join up with the children on the surface. Once everyone was together, there would be no longer anything to fear. Just then, a terrible rumble started closing in from behind. Had the pursuers finally made it through the metal bars? But they couldn't see anyone when they turned around. That rumble and the dirt falling here and there from the ceiling grew closer and closer, finally catching up with them and even going past them. It felt almost like they had been passed by ghosts. Ghosts!
Run! Don't. Oh, fuck.
The instant after they thought that nothing had happened, the ceiling in front of them fell in and a single goat stood in their path. Virgilia was sitting on its shoulder.
賢い子が近道を知っていました。
Right through the ceiling?
一等賞ですよ。
Apparently.
後で手作りのサバのカレー煮をご馳走してあげます。
Mackerel curry.
Kumasawa.
Maybe it really was happy even to receive such a dubious prize. The massive goat showed its joy by putting its hands together and wiggling. Ugh.
Oh no.
Virgilia leapt down, laughing that now it was finally checkmate.
くそ、ダメだ。魔力が完全に殺されてる。
全然ダメだ。
まだよ。魔法がなくても私たちにはまだこの体がある。
無茶だ。あんな化け物にあの不思議な力がなくて戦える。
子供たちは下がっていたまえ。私が何とかするから、その隙にあの化け物の両脇を駆け抜けるんだ。
させませんよ。
That is very Kumasawa-like. Virgilia clapped her hands and a purple magic barrier appeared behind her, stealing even the faint hope that Krause had been betting on.
万事休すか。いや、まだだ。ジェシカも戦った。私が戦わんわけにはいかん。
本気なの？無理よ、あんな巨大な化け物に。
むちゃくちゃだ。クラウスさん、他の方法を考えましょ
う。思いついたら提案してくれたまえ。それまでは私が何とかするしかないようだ。さあ、下がりたまえ。
気をつけて。おやおや、クラウス。あなた一人でこの子と戦うつもりですか？
わからんぞ。戦いにはまぐれあたりの一発だってあり得る。
まぐれでも勝てるつもりとお思いですか？身の程知らずのあなたのために私が状況を整理して差し上げましょう。
何？
あなたが 100% の力を発揮したとしてあなたの戦闘力はせいぜい6、対してこの子の戦闘力は1000。つまりあなたが100人束になっても絶対に勝てないということです。
Did you hear that?
Look at the right side of the screen.
One? What?
One what?
What?
One of what? What is it?
One?
まあ確かに戦いには不確定要素もあります。
What does that mean?
その戦闘力に多少の倍率がかかることも認めましょう。しかしそれでもあなたがこの子を倒せる確率は 0.0001% というところでしょうか。
Each knee.
お分かりかしら？あなたには万に一つの勝ち目もないということです。
It's Spanish.
No, it's Italian.
Oh, Italian.
Virgilia and the goat guffawed together.
くそ、万一ということは 配当は1万倍ということではないかね。
Hey, doesn't magic happen with high risk, high reward situations?
Yep.
If magic is real, that is.
Mm-hmm. Absolute determination leads to magic.
いい大穴だ。
Right. And love, apparently.
そういう馬券は好きだよ。買いたくなる。
それを買うコインはあなたの命1枚しかありませんよ。しかしそれでもその奇跡に運命を託したいとですので、恐れずに立ち向かうあなたの勇気を
よー
Cuatro!
一つハンデを差し上げましょう。この子は左腕一本で戦います。
Cinque!
まあそれでもあなたに負ける気は全くしません。
Stay!
それにしても何かしら、さっきからピンポン
What?
ピンポンと。
You can hear it too? What is going on?
Bing bong, bing bong.
You said something about the video game thing being important, and this is
Yeah,
like a video
what is-
game. What?
What is going on here?
その勝負受けて立ってやる。左腕だろうとなんだろうと、どうせ私は一撃で殺されるだろう。私のチャンスもまた一撃しかないのだ。それに全てかけるしかあるまい。
むちゃくちゃだ、クラウスさん。あんたがボクシングをやってたことは知っているが、それでも大学時代のはず。いやいや、仮にプロのボクサーがいたとしても、あんな化け物一撃で倒せるはずもない。
リングの上での試合なら確かにね。でもクラウス兄さんが望みをかけるチャンスがわずかだけどあるわ。彼はそれに全て望みをかけている。
まさか。しかしそんなのうまくいくわけがない。
No way.
旦那様、
見ていろ。一撃で決めてやる。
Oh, 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 she's doing.
Ho 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 ho.
Wait, we've seen Kumasawa do asides
Yes.
to the audience. Now Ilya's
Yes.
doing. Ho 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 ho! How unwise. I know what you're gunning for. The distance between the two of them is more than 10 meters. If the goat and Kraus both step in with all their strength to settle the fight with a single blow, their power will be double the norm. What? That's so arbitrary. How do you know that? Both will crash together, so it'll be a relative 4 times normal. Okay, well... is that how it works? Even if, on top of that, the strike miraculously lands on a weak point for a critical hit, that will only double the power. So, this is all like... In short, Kraus's maximum power level of 6 times 8 will cap out at 48 at the most.
What are we
He might
doing
just
here?
barely be able to win if he
How did we
repeated
get
that
here?
lucky shot a full 20 times. If you're killed every time you take a hit and your damage still accumulates. Let's see, perhaps you could finally win when we get to episode 24.
Oh no. Oh no. Please no. Please.
Incredible. Oh, if only this series could stretch on
Nana.
for so long. Sette! Either way, you don't even have the slightest chance of victory. Good gracious, what is that bing bong I keep hearing?
Bing bing bong bong.
What is going, John? What is going on, man?
I have no idea. Help.
I'm
Senzo.
wigging out, brother.
私も一撃に全てをかけさせていただく。ヤギ君も遠慮することはない。本気で来たまえ。
He said Goat-kun.
Goat-kun.
They changed it, but he said Goat-kun.
That's amazing.
全力を要望ですよ。本気の一撃で粉砕し、肉片に変えてやりなさいな。
As the goat got excited and beat its chest over and over, it took a position as though preparing for a sprint. Oh, is this what you were hoping for? Stake your hopes on your greatest
Hachi.
power level, Otto, and despair when even that doesn't reach at all. It pinged again. That thing is really getting on my nerves. What is it?
行くぞいいかね
Then, with a match timing that only the men confronting each other could comprehend, the two leapt forward like bullets shot out of a gun. The men howled, collecting the strength from all over their bodies into one arm each. The goat's fiery, glowing eyes clearly locked onto Krause's face. He could perfectly see a vision of when he would step forwards, when he would punch through Krause and blow him away, and when he would achieve his total victory. Ove. The long, painful days before... Dieci! The long, painful days before today drifted through the goat's mind. Wait!
What?
Unichi, I'm gonna be eaten. Wait, what is going on? The hard days of training where his senpais had picked on him.
What?
The faint Dodichi. The faint glimpses of his senpai's warm concern during those days.
Leave this to me and go on ahead, senpai.
What is going on? Sorry to keep you waiting, you guys.
Jusan.
Why are you here? Crap, I don't remember 13. It's not 13, is it? Dieci? No, I don't know. And the joy of that day, his power had been acknowledged and he had been accepted as one of the team. It is 13. Oh, sorry. I never properly respected my parents. What is going on? Does this goat have an entire backstory?
He does. It's Goat-kun.
Quattordici.
What is this?
That's right. I'd actually planned on washing my hands of this business. When this job was over and returning to my hometown, I can't.
What is going on? This is important.
My little goat sister. Goat Emoto. Your Oni-chan caused you nothing but trouble.
Wait. Is this... Hold on. Sorry, my little goat sister. Your Oni-chan caused you nothing but... Yo!
Wait, whoa.
Yo.
No way. Are you thinking about our theory from earlier?
Which one? The one that everybody...
The goats are discarded chess pieces?
That goats are discarded chess pieces? Yes!
Yeah. And do you think this one is Battler from previous games?
Holy shit!
Is he talking about Angie here?
Was I right? Holy
I don't know. Although, why would Angie be a goat too? Because she wasn't there.
Oh my god. It was just a joke. It was really just a joke.
I mean, do you think it? I mean, they're going into backstory. Hold on.
Oh no.
Perfectly see a vision, blah blah blah. Painful days before today drifted through the goat's mind. Hard days of training, senpai's warm concerns, and the joy.
They showed for the senpais the seven sisters of purgatory. So whoever it was training with the seven.
Right.
Wait.
I never properly respected my parents. Washing my hands of this business when this job was over and returning to my hometown.
Is this...
What?
This is Angie?
No, I thought this was Battler.
But hit exit. See what the last line said. Didn't the last line said... Oh.
Sorry, my little goat sister, your Oni-chan caused you nothing but trouble.
Oh. Then this might be Battler. This... Holy fuck. What is going on here?
Okay, alright.
What is going on here?
Alright. I don't know about Goat Emoto-chan, but
The chat is laughing their asses off right now.
That's good. I'm glad because we are just completely
shook right now.
And I actually have a childhood friend, and I'm going to marry her when I get home.
Wait, what?
Marry her when I get home. What is... Going back to his hometown and marrying his childhood friend. He has a sister. Dichinove.
Jukyu.
Dichinove.
Jukyu. Battler, is that you? What? What is even going on anymore? I'm
just gonna
click and see what loser flags are.
Yeah, I just want to see what it has to say about that. The term flag here originally described an invisible state value in a game's coding, which is said to be tripped or triggered when the player takes some action that influences future events. The moment of the flag trip itself is usually not visible and can only be detected through later changes in dialogue or events that signal to the player that they have impacted events or changed a route. In casual usage of the term, and especially when applying the concept to a non-interactive medium, these moments that indicate clearly to the genre savvy that events are inexorably unfolding a certain way are themselves called flags, and it is in this sense that the phrase loser flag is used here, to refer to the occurrence of a cliche that is almost always followed by total failure for a character in a story. Interesting. So is that why they always mention flags in anime, because
Yep.
a lot of anime are like carryovers from games?
Mm-hmm. You triggered a flag. If you trigger a flag, it's a death
Not
flag
good.
too. It's
Yeah.
not good.
It happened the instant before the two crashed and their punches crossed.
愚かね、ワルギリア。冷静な判断を欠いたようよ。
そのパンチを受けてはなりません。弾きなさい。
Very instant, the goat's left straight and Krause's right straight crossed. The goat obeyed Virgilia's order with super fast reflexes and pulled back his straight.
Oh, I get it. The numbers. Every time a number, I might just be slow here. You might have already figured this out. But the numbers are the loser flags. Every time somebody said a statement like, "Oh, you have no chance," or "You have no shot of winning," or every time a goat had flashbacks to his family, and
or wanting
his
to go to his hometown.
Every time that happened, it triggered a loser flag.
So it's increasing Krause's chances of winning, basically.
Yes.
Virgilia's decision was probably wise. After all, the number of loser flags act as a multiplier on the opponent's power level.
危ないところでした。
Vegeta.
こんな負けフラグ立てまくりの状態で食らっていたら、どれほどの威力に倍率がかかっていたことか。さあ、そこでガラ空きの右側面に右ストレートを叩き込んでやりなさい。
Is the goat going back to his beloved home of old?
Beloved home
by
of old?
The Sweet Fish River?
Yo. What if that's
connected somehow?
What if this could be Kinzo? Nah.
I don't think so.
何？左腕一本で戦う約束？約束は破るためにあるのでしょうが！
She just triggered another flag.
Need you.
20.
また立った！失望よ、ワルギリア。あなたはやはり冷静を欠いていたわ。
Yeah, Super Paper said the same thing.
Yes, he did. Sweet Fish River.
なんですって？
My beloved hometown.
直前に気づいて避けさせた私のどこが冷静でないと。
どうしてですか、キリン様。あのまま激突していたら 旦那様の勝ちだったのでは。
Victorici!
そうか。負けフラグの数が20でもまだ足りないんだ。
Krauses and the goat's double rush make it ×4. With a miracle on their side, the firm promise of a critical hit would double it again for 8 times. On top of that, a multiplier of ×20 equal to the number of tripped loser flags applies, making it ×160. At a glance, that looks like an incredible amplification, but even so, Krause's power level is 6. Even multiplied by 160, it only makes for a power level of 960. Just a fraction below the goat's 1000.
だから冷静じゃないと言ったのよ。あなた失敗したわ。そのまま激突していればあなたの勝ちだったのよ。たとえそうだったとしても、この右ストレートでクラウスの頭を砕けば同じこと。死ね、後ろ宮クラウス。
食らいたまえ、ボクシング界最強の一撃を。
Having deflected Krause's right straight, the goat's own right straight closed in on the right side of Krause's face, which had been left open. But there it crossed with a left straight from Krause.
Okay, another theory. So in traditional times, it's always been a tradition. Like if a father had been reluctant to let his daughter marry somebody who's asking for her daughter's hand in marriage, then the guy proposing would have to take on the father in a challenge.
Really?
And Krause is fighting a goat who is thinking of things in the past that are happening. And what if the goat remember how he's like, Jessica, are you prepared to give up everything for canon? Now what if the goat is somehow canon and he was talking about his sister, right? What if that's Shannon?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting.
That's another theory. It's weaker, I think, than the Battler theory, but
it is. I mean, the Battler theory has a hole in it because there would be no way that Angie would also have been turned into a goat.
Yes.
Because she's not an actual piece on this board. So, but I don't know.
This definitely has some meaning. I'm gonna go back through this like 10,000 times.
Yeah, we're definitely missing a lot, but that's okay. The 2 punches crossed and time stopped as each aimed for the face of the other.
まさかこのタイミングで相打ちに持ってくるとは。しかし戦闘力は160倍止まりで960。うちのこの1000には及びませんでしたよ。
いや、ワルギリアさん、あんたの負けだ。
どうして？
あんた最初のクロスカウンターを弾かせちまった。確かにその次に繰り出した右ストレートが当たればクラウスさんは粉々にされていただろう。しかしそいつをクロスされてしまった。こりゃダメだ。
全然ダメだ。
悪いがあんたんとこのヤギさんの乾杯だよ。
A cross counter has 4 times the destructive power. This is common knowledge in boxing. And if that is deflected and the right straight hits, then the double cross counter has 8 times the destructive power. This is also common knowledge in boxing. No one talks about power levels in boxing. Like, what?
What?
If that is crossed. By the principle of leverage, the triple cross then multiplies the destructive power by 12. What is it? What is this? This is also painfully common knowledge in the world of boxing.
クラウスさんの戦闘力は6。
双方2倍の踏み込みで4倍。
What the hell are they
This is why you don't take LSD while writing.
光るヒットで8倍。
This is boxing for nerds. Let's get me out of here.
負けフラグの立てすぎで160倍。
そしてトリプルクロスカウンターでさらに12倍。
1920倍。
Wait, where is 1920 coming from?
That's the That's I have no idea. What?
A power level of 11,520. Krause's punch now had the power to easily win that Budokai tournament.
これは勝利を最後まで諦めなかったクラウスさんの執念とあんたの慢心が招いた結果だ。
Absolute determination.
Why is Nanjo an expert on this now? What is happening?
どちらがかけてもこの威力にはならなかった。
Was that actually a Dragon Ball reference?
I
The
have no
Budokai
idea.
tournament? That's what people are saying in the chat.
It might be.
あんたよく戦ったよ。もう倒れてもいいんだぞ。
Nanjo patted the goat on the shoulder. Oh, Oni-chan gave it his all. Oni-chan ganbate. Ganbate ne. As the sparkling drops from the goat's eyes scattered, he softly toppled backwards and flattened Vergilian like a pancake.
What the fuck, goat? Omae wa mou shinderu.
Nani?
Yeah.
Is that what? There's got to be a connection between like Uryu and Ugya and like Nya.
Ooh.
All of these weird. Yeah, and ooh, I don't. The goat's massive body was too heavy for the slender Vergilia. She floundered around with it on top of her, but it didn't look like she would be able to escape. In that instant, the barrier Vergilia had sealed broke.
悪く思うな。
Erica123 says Sasuke Krausama a power level of 11,520. I don't think I would be able to translate that, but that is cool. And Erica is Italian herself, apparently.
テコの原理を侮ったのが君の敗因だ。
どうしてあのカウンターでテコの原理が働くのかしらね。
Guys, please, this is a serious story about homicides. Thank you, Puppet Strings.
永遠の謎だわ。
今のうちに逃げましょう。
We are serious, but we like to have fun here.
ヤギさんもお大事に。
それでは失礼します。バルギリア様。
Excuse us while we escape. Sorry, Vergilia. Bye.
That's amazing.
待ちなさい。これどけて。ガブガブガブガブガブガブ。
Rip Vergilia. Crushed by a goat.
And apparently going insane. There was nothing more to block their way. They ran through the underground passage with single-minded purpose. Determination, you could say. We are mourning the death of Goat-kun. Jessica had finally been cornered with the wall at her back.
Do you want to switch reading?
Oh yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, cool.
Also, I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick.
Oh, okay, yeah, take your time. Go use the restroom. I'll entertain the chat. Chat, can somebody tell me what the fuck just happened? Oh, it was... Okay, first off, this video game terminology. Does this video game terminology have anything to do with, like, is it important that they're using video game terminology to the overarching plot, or is it just they're using video game terminology? If you can tell me if it's important or not. That would be nice. I don't need to know. Oh, so it's not important? Alright. Just a joke. So the video game terminology is just a joke. Episode 4 was written on weed, more like LSD. And whoever these fucking... those fucking goat flashback scenes, what... with the Seven Sisters of Purgatory. Some of those, I really need to go back and see that again, because, okay, I noticed how never mind, analyzing chat's reactions to stuff is probably being too meta and not allowed. What was I gonna say? Where is the goat? Promises are made to be broken. Goat. Where's the goat? Oh. It's further up. I didn't go high enough. Where is the goat's conversation? I went too high this time. Goat conversation where... Vision. Long painful days before today drifted through the goat's mind. The hard days of training where his senpais had picked on him. The faint glimpses of his senpai's warm concern during those days. And the joy that the joy of that day his power had been acknowledged and he had been accepted as one of the team.
Alright, I apologize, I'm back.
It's all good. I was just looking through this and I was thinking where it says the joy of the day his power had been acknowledged and he'd been accepted as one of the team, the hard days of training where his senpais had picked on him. That kind of seems like Sakatardo, in a way, when they showed the flashback of training with the Seven Sisters. But no, I don't think, because I never properly respected my parents. I'd actually planned on washing my hands of this business when the job was over and returning to my home. This sounds like something straight out of the mind of a murderer. That's right, I had actually planned on washing my hands of this business when the job was over and returning to my hometown. Sorry, my little goat sister, your Oni-chan caused you nothing but trouble. Maybe goat sister in this... just goat is just masking the fact that they're talking about humans instead of goats.
Could be.
And actually I have a childhood friend and I'm going to marry her when I get home. That sounds like it's important too. Oh, and I also saw something that said promises are meant to be broken. But that could be important. Anyways, Jessica had finally been cornered with a wall at her back. Renové's magic barrier was advancing bit by bit and would probably crush her against the wall before long. I think we're heading into, like, this is towards the end of the chapter, so I don't think it should be too much. Considering the distance, this would be the final strike, the final throw of her iron fist. Jessica dealt out many punches so far. The wall wasn't invincible. It had already started to crack, and it wouldn't be strange for it to smash at any moment. However, due to the rebounding damage, Jessica herself was in very bad shape with cuts all over her body.
もうおよしなさい。あなたを押しつぶすつもりはありません。あなたの処遇は親方様が決めますからね。しかし、ジェシカ様のナイスファイトは。
Nice fight.
Interesting. Super Paper in the chat says that asks the question, what if it's
the culprit's confession? Huh.
Which is really interesting. I like where we could go with that.
I
finish
do too.
This job. What you were saying earlier. Finish this job and be done.
Ha. Wait.
Interesting.
But if we're saying that's Battler, does that mean Battler's the murderer?
I mean, I feel like we would change. There's no way he could be the murderer, right?
I don't know.
What would be his reason?
I'm sure. Well, whoever it was, there's probably hints scattered all throughout this as to what there could be a possible reason for, and I'm sure we could think of a possible reason for everybody going back through. But for Battler, what would be his reason? I don't know. Because I don't think Battler is Beatrice unless the murderer on the island basking themselves as Beatrice. The murderer on the island is not the same person as Beatrice.
Right.
The murderer on the island is not the same as Beatrice. If Battler is the murderer, the fact that he says his sister, he apologizes to his sister.
Yeah. That's gotta be Battler, right? Like.
Yeah.
Getting back to his hometown.
Cause like before he was living with his grandparents, and then going back to his hometown would be back with his parents. He never respect. This is glaring here.
Yeah, that's pretty huge.
Friggin' goats.
Damn.
I think if we had to say a murder, I don't know why though. I don't know why. That's the thing. There must be a motive, and I don't know why Battler would be a murderer. But just the fact that he says all the things that this person masked as a goat, or a goat person had said, just screams Battler to me for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I'm almost positive Battler isn't Beatrice. So whoever Beatrice is would be somebody else, if Battler's the murderer. Anyways.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm ranting.
It's okay. That's kind of what this playthrough is, honestly.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yes.
あなたは満身創痍。立っているのもやっとではありませんか。あなたは最後の一撃に全ての力を込めるつもりでいるようだ。しかし、その最後の一撃はむしろあなたにとって命取りになりますよ。
The damage reflected by Ronove's magic barrier was proportional to the strength of the attack. The more all out she went, the more suicidal it would be for her.
わかってるぜ。そんなことはよ。
警告します。もうおやめなさい。それがあなたのためです。
強がるなよ。お前の壁がもう破れかかってるんだろ。殴ってきた私には手応えで分かってるんだぜ。
That was a fact. Ronove's wall was already on the verge of breaking, and on top of that, Jessica's fist has been imbued with an unimaginable magical attack power by now, and their destructive power defied the imagination. If she wasn't careful, that destructive power might pierce the defensive wall, smash Ronove as well, and then go on to expand the size of her bedroom by connecting it to the room next door. However, that damage would rebound on Jessica as well. She wouldn't escape unharmed.
もう一度だけ言います。おやめなさい。あなたのためを思って言っています。
やかましいぜ。覚悟しやが。
Jessica howled, putting all her strength and her last and greatest destructive power into her fist. She roared. The three goats had been beaten down long ago. Without a single ragged breath, George cautiously closed the distance between him and Gab. He was after her. He was planning on bringing her down with a single strike. Gab was also aiming for a single strike. If she let that chance slide this time, she would be killed. Even the tiny movement of weakness during the time it took to open the hole would prove fatal against George now. Gab cautiously calculated the distance and timing, but even as she did, George closed the gap between them.
来ないなら
来なさいよ。今さら小細工も私のこの蹴りで決着をつけてや。
The instant she noticed George's body blur, only his jacket was floating in the air.
Nani?
A short sound of realization entered her mind, and in that instant, darkness covered her. George, with his heels swung up high, looked like even a massive dragon attacking from the sky.
かかったわ。これで私の勝ちよ。後ろ宮ジョージ。
何
Gap opened a vast pit with her in the center and swallowed up George along with herself. The two were swallowed up by the pit and spat out from the ceiling of the arbor. Mid-air fight time. But that was what Gap had been after, so she alone landed lightly. But there was another pit in George's landing spot. Fuck.
Now she's thinking with portals.
もらったわ。
Yes.
後ろ宮ジョ。面白かったわよ。知りなさい。
It's been fun, die now.
あんたみたいな上等。
Okay, thanks.
後ろ宮家の当主なんてもったいないわ。今この場で私が食ってあげる。
George once again fell from the ceiling of the arbor. He had probably been dropped the same distance as falling off the roof of a two-story building. In midair, he couldn't control his posture in any way. It was impossible to resist or defend or avoid. Ah! As Gap spun along by like a whirlwind, she concentrated all of her energy on... This was the final strike to perform his requiem. The Queen Bee's final strike that would bore into heaven, knocking him down into the true abyss. They keep capitalizing abyss.
As if it's an actual place. Interesting.
ようこそ奈落へ。ここがあんたの終着点よ。
Her prey captured in her sight, she launched her foot up into the sky. It was then that she saw George's face. Even though he was in midair, he was calmly adjusting his glasses with his middle finger of his left hand. And his posture was still preserved as that of an axe kick. Aiming for Gap's forehead without the faintest
君がその手に出ること
deviation.
は想定済みだったよ
Nani?
僕が地上の君に飛びかかとを食らわせるために飛んでいたなら僕の姿勢はとっくに崩れていただろうさしかし
Okay,
僕
how
の
do they
姿勢
have
はいさ
time
さかも崩れ
to
ない
explain all of this? They're in the middle of a fight, isn't he in midair?
He is.
なぜかわかるかい
Damn it, Japan.
Anta.
僕は初めから2フロア下の君にかかとを食らわせるつもりで
What?
飛んでいる
Gap, raise your leg a little higher, please.
君の負け
Gotta love
だ
that
お嬢さん
tasteful side boob.
ピンポン。
What? Oh
Flag?
shit. Oh shit, George had too many flags. Oh no.
Damn.
George
The way
flagged
she
himself.
said that was really...
George flagged himself. Loser
Damn.
flag.
Bing bong.
We should have called it. He was talking himself up too much. Oh shit. Not only did George loser flag himself, he just loser flagged Jessica too, probably.
Yeah, I think he did.
Jessica's last and strongest upward punch reached the wall and was sucked in. It was sucked into the black large hole that had suddenly opened on the wall.
だからおやめなさいと中
Fuck.
Big rip.
実は全然ピンチでもなんでもなかったの。ごめんなさいね。
Fucking George. Cocky son of a bitch. You got them
I'm
both
sure
killed.
Ronave wasn't either.
Jessica's fist had gone for George's stomach.
Whoa!
And George's axe kick had lined up on Jessica's head.
She portaled them into hitting each other.
Oh no. It was a trap.
It's a trap.
The shocking destructive power imbued in Jessica's fist crushed George's organs and shattered his abdomen. Equally as shocking destructive power in George's axe kick smashed half of Jessica's head and scattered its contents in the same manner.
Jeez.
だって
Oh no.
魔女は演技力なんでしょう。ねえねえリーチェどうよ見ててくれたかしら。
Yeah, where are you, babes, Richie? Finally! It's been too long. Ack, yak, yak, yak.
やるな筋書き通り。やっ
Script.
ぱガープは分かってるじゃん。
That was almost as good as the long con that Beatrice pulled.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Because I felt just as suspicious through all of this as I did during that.
Beato and Gap gave each other a light high five. Oh, and here's Battler-kun.
ありがとうロノウェイ。こっちで美味しくいただけた。ジェシカの死体はそっちに返すわ。二人で寄り添う死体を引き離
Oh
す。
shit. The two that are close. They're really close. Close
Yeah.
enough that George's shoe
That
is
they
inside
kill each
Jessica's
other.
head.
And Jessica's fist is inside his stomach.
Gap dropped Jessica's corpse into a pit and chucked all the chunks of meat too into Jessica's room.
Ugh.
As carefully as throwing them into the trash. Battler. Jessica's corpse and lumps of flesh fell from the ceiling and poured out all over her room. Ronove shook his head slightly at the all too gruesome change. And remember that locked room?
Yeah.
申し訳ございませんねジェシカ様ご忠告は申しもっともこの結末を予見し聞き入れないと分かっている忠告を重ねる悪魔の醍醐味は人間には分からないでしょうが
If only.
本当に面白かったわ坊や。でもあんたちょっと言葉遊びが過ぎるわよ。そろそろ反撃してもいいかなが最高傑作。あなたどこかのラノベか何かにかぶ
He
せ
did kind of go all shonen on her, didn't he?
This is too dirty. Poor George. He's already dead. And the arbor
Beat the man
brutally
while he's down.
and the arbor brutally decorated by George and Jessica's scattered bloods and gut. Gap enjoyed a long loud laugh for a while. But she quickly realized that in all seriousness, this was a little too filthy and undignified, and she snapped her fingers, sucking the guts and stuff into the ground.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. And as she did, gold butterflies rose up from the ground all around the garden, stuck to each of the bits and stained patches of blood and got them out. Then, bit by bit, she slowly turned back into George's corpse. And the awful corpse, they slowly turned back, not she. They slowly turned back into George's corpse. And the awful corpse with its guts splattered out was repaired into a clean corpse that looked like it was sleeping. Was this kind of post-mortem sportsmanship towards a good opponent? The heavens were slowly split, because Gab had lifted a leg high into the air pointing at the sky.
じゃあね色男これが本当の
Oh, oof. Squish. Without a trace of mercy, that foot was brought down and buried into George's forehead. Her stiletto here, sharp as a weapon, was impaled through George's forehead. She pulled it out with a blorp. It was like a mark of proof that Gab had indeed finished him off by her own hands. Renove returned Jessica's corpse to its original form as well, and unlike how it had been with George, he also restored Jessica's life. What?
Did she pass the test?
Yume?
いいえ違います
Oh.
ジェシカ様は確かにお亡くなりになりました最後の瞬間の記憶をよくご存知のはずだ
One second I was here, the next second there was a foot in my head.
Pretty much.
It was burnt into the side of Jessica's head. For some reason, she remembered being thrown somewhere and that her head had been smashed in by George's hail.
私は生きてるのか。
いいえ、死んでいます。私の魔法でほんの3分ほど。それを先送りにしているに過ぎません。3分が過ぎれば魔法が終わり、あなたは無残な頭部半壊の死体に戻ります。死は残酷です。多くの場合、心の整理さえ与えない。しかし私はここまで検討したあなたを称え、その時間を与えることにしました。その3分間でこの世の未練をよく整理されるといいでしょう。
その3分でお前
But the power that had... Did
no,
you say
she's. I was just saying that neither of them apparently stood a chance, so fighting now wouldn't matter anyway.
Yeah. But the power that had been burning inside Jessica's body was now completely lost. Jessica was aware of that of herself. She was already dead.
You are already dead. 失礼いたします。楽しかったですよ、ジェシカさん。
That's basically what he said to her.
Yeah.
Ronovate turned his form into a cloud of golden butterflies and disappeared. All that remained was the sound of wind and rain and the figure of Jessica crouching down against the wall, decomposing. Jessica realized, after 3 minutes, she'd probably be flesh and blood. In those 3 minutes, was there really anything she could do? She stood up and with a shaky gait took the phone out that was on the desk. Oh no, she's calling Cannon, isn't she? Or she's gonna try.
I mean, he's not gonna be there.
Oh, she's calling Battler?
もしもし、ジェシカか。ジェシカ、どうした？無事か？
No.
やられしまったぜ。
大丈夫か？
No!
怪我をしてるのか？
Yes!
今助けに行く。
No point.
いや、もう遅いぜ。私さ、もう死んでる。
I'm already dead.
もう死んでいる。
バトラーが来た時には、私は頭を半分ぶちまけた死体だよ。
待てろ、今そこに行くからな。
聞けよバトラー。いいか、よく聞け。幸田さんたちがどうして食堂で6人が殺された時のこと。
Because they're not human.
歯切れが悪いのか。あいつらな、人間じゃねえんだぜ。
Yeah.
あ？何を言ってんだ。
見ちまったんだ。仕方ねえだろ。あいつらさ、
Freaking saw it,
ワープ
okay?
したりバリア張ったりやりたい放題だぜ。
Jessica, you're starting to lose it here.
どこの漫画だよ、アニメだよ。いや、マジでかなわねえぜ。
It sounds like your mind's falling apart here. Oh wait.
Oh,
最初からさ、
it will be.
戦うとか無理なんだよ。バトラーが自慢してた棒仕掛けの槍程度でとてもどうにかなる相手じゃねえぜ。
Hat stand spear? What?
Yeah, they made a bunch of weapons in the guest house
Oh yeah, that's right.
to defend themselves.
A line of blood dripped down from Jessica's forehead.
ジョージ兄さんもダメだった。ありゃ、即死だ。次のテストはバトラだな。お前のテストも私たちと同じになるのかな。用心しろよ。そして間違えるな。
Now for Battler, we have... If the test is the same thing, it would be Battler, everyone else, but then who's the person Battler loves? Without
That's what I
love, the
was
truth
thinking.
cannot be seen. But who does
I
Battler
mean-
love?
Is it familial love with Angie?
I don't
mean-
know.
テストか？
It's hard to
違
know.
う。敵はどうせ人間だと間違えるなよ。敵は人間じゃない。恐ろしい魔法。 そこを絶対に。
A line of blood dripped down from Jessica's mouth as well. The left half of her head started hurting. Jessica realized that she was about to return to the corpse she had been.
13人死ねば黄金の魔女が蘇り、母さんたちが殺されて6人。これで第1の番。そして私とジョージ兄さんが死んで第2の番。あと5人殺されれば儀式は完成で魔女が蘇る。父さんたち無事だといいな。もし無事じゃなくお前をテストするのは復活したてのベアトリーチェ自身ってことに。
Battler had no idea what Jessica was saying, but from her tone, he realized that she knew she was about to die. So even though he didn't understand the situation, he urged her to hang on in there, whatever.
頑張って。
私はもう
私はもう死んでる。
もう時間みたいだ。テスト頑張れよ。お前が当主になれると。
No, Jessica. Balor's sorrowful voice could be heard from the dangling receiver. Crouching with her back against the adjacent wall, Jessica's head was half smashed. Oh shit. What the heck?
What?
This is new? Look at this background. There's like grates in the ground.
This must be outside Kuwadarian or whatever it's called.
Curious stuck her face out of a well, and then Kraus showed himself too. When he noticed that they could see the back of the mansion beyond a grove of trees, Kraus realized more or less where they were. To think that there had been a hidden underground passage in a well all the way out here. Oh, this was the route Nanjo had said he knew about from... Apparently, it would take them all the way back to the mansion from Kuwadarian.
Right. Yeah.
And that it led to a hidden mansion.
老体にはやはりこれはつら普段は別の場所からちゃんと階段で上がれるのです。鍵さえ開けば。
南條先生には後でいろいろとここの構造についてお教え願いたいものだ。
Man, this episode is so good.
シャノン、
It really is. I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
大丈夫です。カノン君、早く。
Cannon was the last, climbing out of the ladder towards them in the shaft disguised as a well. It was probably quite deep. When he looked down for the first time, he realized how far he had come. Oh. God fucking damn it. Bang. As Cannon was about to finally crawl out of the well, a hole the size of a basketball opened up in his chest. What the fuck? Everyone there looked through the hole in Cannon's chest to the scenery beyond.
Damn.
Cannon toppled backwards and was swallowed up into the depths of the well. Please, no! At that time, Karasukuria and Nanjo clearly saw a golden curve appear from the well and sow itself through the side of Shannon's head.
Oof.
Shannon!
Come on.
Best girl, no!
Head pierced. The three were perfect witnesses to everything, and up until including the opposite side of her head being blasted away into a pulp. Shannon fell to her knees, blood gushing from both sides of her head, and flopped to the ground.
Oh! How could they do that to her?
Nanjo had been paralyzed in fright by the manner of Shannon's death, and the Chester sisters would not miss their chance. What the fuck was that? A curve again appeared from the well and pierced through Nanjo's forehead and out the back of his head in an instant, sewing through him. Thump. And so Nanjo expired. Run! Run, Kraus. Get down or something.
狙撃されてるのよ。どこか知らないけど、私たちを完全に捉えてる。屋敷へ逃げ込むのよ。視界を遮るのよ。
The two dashed into the back entrance of the mansion. Please be open. Oh, it is. Cool. Then the instant Kraus tried to shut the door behind him. Fuck. A golden curve appeared for the fourth time, piercing Kraus from the back of his head, out through the front of his forehead, and smashing even his forehead to pieces.
Ooh.
Fuck. Kyrie, run! Run! Kraus's body lurched over, fell down hard, and drew a neat radial pattern with the insides of his head.
Oh, that's neat. A neat radial pattern.
Kyrie ran wildly through the hallway, flew into some room, and locked the door. You just... locked room, thanks, good job. But she couldn't imagine for a moment that this would save her life. She would probably die soon. This was apparently one of the guest rooms. At that moment, a phone on a side table caught Kira's eye. Call Badler, call Badler, call Badler.
Yeah.
Puppet String says, ugh, the Nanjo I bought expired already. After hanging up on the call from Jessica, Badler was literally just about to dash out. In that instant,
Man.
the phone rang again.
Those Nanjos have really bad shelf life, man.
They do, I know.
Gotta tell you.
They're pretty juicy in the inside, so it's kind of hard for them to stay fresh.
もしもしキリエさん
はい、バトラ君。ラッキーだったわ。なんとか力を脱出できたの。本当についてた。
そこはどこだみんな無事なのかよ
No, they're all dead.
こっちはジェシカとジョージの兄貴がどうやら
Yeah.
聞いて私の命は多分もう長く
Oh, fuck. Duck! Then, right after she got the sudden feeling the keyhole of the locked door might have glowed gold, a gold curved line drawing a helix, no, a golden sewing needle, infiltrated the room through there at an incredible speed and bore a hole into the floor by Kyrie's feet. It missed.
Wow.
Oh, that's rare. The enemy who had sniped from the other four from one another. The other four, one after another, with extraordinary skill, apparently really does have trouble shooting me between the eyes with a single shot while I hold up in this room, but the next strike will probably hit. Run! At this point, Kyrie finally remembered the initial massacres in the dining hall. That's right. This is what killed Rudolph and the rest, all 6 of them.
聞いてバトラ君私が見たことをありのまま話すバトラ君はきっと私の頭がどうにかなってしまうええ思ってくれていいわ私だって何を見たのか未だに整理がつかない今日バトラ君たちがゲストハウスに帰ってから食堂で親族会議が始まってそして何が起こったかを全て話すわ
Huh, is this window, I wonder, visible from the guest house?
I don't know.
Because Battler could be sniping at her through the window.
Yeah.
If Battler's the murderer.
If he is the killer.
But it's kind of hard because he's talking to her on the phone right now. But what else would make sense? Anyways.
口を挟まないで最後まで聞いて途中で急に電話が切れるかもしれないそしたらその時は私が殺された時よ
Then Kyrie spoke about how Kinzo had come, the family conference had started, the 6 had been killed, and the 5 of them had been confined, about how she had escaped somehow and made it to where she was now, and how everyone had finally been killed, all spoken dispassionately as she had seen it, with no dramatization. She even spoke about how everyone except for her had been killed, and how she had observed the moments of all of their deaths. And how even this very moment someone was trying to kill her.
実はこの話をしている間にももう3度攻撃を受けている鍵穴からおかしな黄金の糸みたいなのが飛び込んできてくるくる回りながら私を狙ってくるの最初は足元次は肩の近くさっきのは耳をかすったわ狙いがだんだん正確になってくるそろそろ私の眉間にズドンと来そうね
Stop wasting time, tell more stuff.
逃げろキリエさん
Or run.
逃げてくれ
If you stand still, it's not gonna hit you between the eyes.
ここまで逃げ延びてきて部屋に閉じこもって鍵までかけてるのよそれでもなお狙われてる私がどこに隠れるのよね
キリエ様
ねえバトラ君ジェシカちゃんとジョージ君まだ生きてる
さっきジェシカから電話がなんかダメみたい
私たち5人が次々殺される時何か予感していたの。ひょっとして13人殺しの儀式は第2の番を終えて私たちの番にまで至ったのかなって。つまり私が死ねば13人。
But then what about the
これで儀
test?
式は完成。
I don't
黄
know.
金の魔女
Maybe
ベ
it
アトリー
doesn't
チ
matter
が
at this
復
point.
活する。一体どういうことになるのかしら。こんな悪魔だらけの魔女だらけ、ヤギの化け物がうじゃうじゃいるこの島に、さらにそいつらの親玉である黄金の魔女まで現れて、一体どうなっちゃうというのかしら。もう私には何が何だかわからない。
Kiryu-san's voice had given up completely on her own life, and because Battler could tell that, he couldn't stop the tears.
だけ助言できることがあったわ。
何？
もしあなたの前に悪魔やら魔女が現れても、
あ
その正体を疑う必要は何もないわ。そういうものだと理解して。
Huh?
何か仕掛けがあるはずだとか、正体があるはずだとか、そんなことを考える余裕があったら、相手の機嫌を損ねないことを考えた方がよっぽどに建設的。間違ってもなら魔法を見せてみろなんて言っちゃダメよ。その証拠を彼らはこの上なく残酷な方法で見せるでしょうから。
信じらん
So
ねえよ。
Kiryu says magic
キリさん
exists.
の口からそん
Uh-huh.
なこと言われるなんて
That's kind of
Yes.
convenient for Beato.
信じらんねえよ。
Yes.
分かってる。信じられないの。だからそれこそが私にできる助言。信じて。
ペアとリーチェと悪魔と魔女と化け物どもを。
私たちは多分あれほどまでにこの世ならざるものをありありと見せつけられても、多分何も信じることができなかったと思うの。今の私もそう。さっきから襲ってきて私の額を撃ち抜こうとする者の正体さえ私には理解できず、信じられない。だから
How are you
あなた
still
だ
alive?
けは信じ理解して私たちに受け止めきれなかった存在を受け止めてほしいの。そうしてくれたなら私たちの死は無駄にならない。私もこうして電話をした甲斐があったというものだわ。
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
キリさん。
まだ大丈夫よ。かすったけどまた外したわ。さすがに今度はもうダメかもね。ありがとう。そしてさよならバトラ君。あなたのことアスムさんの息子だからと冷たくしたこともあったの。その日のことを許して。
許すも何も。今はキリエさんが俺にとっての母親だろうが。
I felt as though I had heard an incredible sound at the other end of the receiver, and then a noisy clattering sound, as though the receiver had fallen to the floor.
キリエさん。キリエさん。うわ
Kiryu-san never responded through the phone. Again.
That's all,
Okay.
folks.
Yep. Thank you for watching. That was one hell of a chapter. It's actually, that might be my
どうして
one
バ
of
ト
my
ラが
favorite
怒ってるのか
chapters so
わ
far
かんないよ。
of the whole game. It was pretty great.
Yeah. Very good. Feel like it revealed a lot that we need to look into.
And it felt like it gave us a lot more hints that are leading, that kind of confirm we're kind of going in the right direction. But so yeah, we have, I think, how many more chapters left in this episode? We're getting close to the end of episode 4. We have 1 chapter, 2 chapter, 3 chapters left, and then the tea party.
Okay.
So, wow, we're almost done chapter 4, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, hope you enjoyed watching. You're not gonna get any videos this week, but we will record next weekend and get some out for you in 2 weeks. But this is holiday week, so we're gonna take a break. A little break. With that in mind, thank you guys for watching. It was great seeing you guys in chat, and we'll try to do a stream again sometime for later on. But thank you guys. My name is Eclipid.
And I'm Matt. Take care, Al.
He's Matt. I'm John. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.
Peace. Good night.